Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of December 14th, 2024. Thank you for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour one.
I always like to kick things off with something super interesting, and America's super secret nuclear launch code during the Cold War. Okay, it's 8 numbers. What do you think those 8 numbers are? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? No, it's trickier than that. Are you ready? It was 000 000 0000. Yes, I know. 8 zeros. Oh, Russia's never going to figure that one out. This was actually confirmed by Dr. Bruce Blair, a former missile launch officer. And they did reset the code to something more difficult. So what do you think that would be? A more difficult code? Is it 8765321? Nope. 111 111 11. Yeah, there's some brain trust for you. And meanwhile, we have drones the size of SUVs flying all over New Jersey. Hey, by the way, we're going to be talking to an expert about UFOs and the military tech and paranormal and all that other great stuff. It's all happening in New Jersey. It's just a sad state of affairs. Oh, tough crowd. You didn't even laugh at that one. All righty. It's the Kim Komando Show. It's the nation's largest show about all things digital. It's your most trusted. It's the award-winning, because after all, I'm America's beloved digital goddess here with you once again. It's my job to make sure that you're always tech ahead and never left tech behind. And just a quick reminder, if you're going to be traveling out and about, you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations across the United States. You can also find the program inside your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And of course, you can get the Kim Komando Show commercial free in your favorite podcast player too. Just search for Komando with a K. And a big hello goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with me on the show, because after all, it would just be me talking to myself, and that would be no fun at all. And just a reminder that great sponsors always help to make this show possible. If you're looking for the award-winning deals, if you're looking for the money-saving deals, sorry about that. If you're looking for the money-saving deals, just head over to komando.com/sponsors. And I know that you have some questions about something digital in your life, and you can chat GPT it and you can Google it. But when you need trusted advice, that's when I come into play. And that's why our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. You know, T-Mobile's advanced 5G network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. And I'd like to thank NetSuite for helping to make this show possible. You know, over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle. It's the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one fluid platform. NetSuite has added a range of new AI features to its product. Now, these updates are designed to help companies operate more efficiently. Like, for example, the software can now automatically detect unusual activity in companies' financial data, allowing issues to be addressed quickly before they just become bigger problems. It helps give you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you are peering into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backward and more time on what's next. NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Now, This is amazing. You can download the CFO's Guide to AI Machine Learning for free right now at netsuite.com/Kim. You don't have to be a CFO to get it, by the way. That's netsuite.com/Kim, netsuite.com/Kim. Alrighty, every single day I go to at least 35, sometimes 40 different sources to make sure that I know exactly what's happening in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things that you need to know that's going on right now. And we're going to start with United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. As you know, he was assassinated in broad daylight and shot by Luigi Mangione, who is pleading not guilty somehow. Of course, it's alleged right now, everything's going on. But online, things are taking a turn. Unbelievable to me that T-shirts with Luigi's face, with kissing emojis, are being sold. Social media is flooded with sympathy for the shooter, calling him a hero. But what's going on? You know, Amazon had the decency to pull deny, defend, depose shirts, but they're still on sale on eBay because apparently that doesn't break the rules. Trolls have review bombed the McDonald's where the guy was caught, calling workers rats and snitches. Okay. It's no secret that healthcare is a mess right now, and we're all frustrated. But how did we get to a place where a man is walking down the street at 6:45 or so and just going to work and he gets assassinated, and then somehow people go online and they call him a hero? I mean, we're talking about a dad. Okay. 2 kids are never going to see their father again. What's going on? I want you to think about the next time you see something online and you like it and you share it. You know, where's your empathy? Where's your morals? I mean, it's just disgraceful. All right, moving on to number 2. This is a scam that is affecting anybody right now, and they're really targeting you if you have a Chase, a Wells Fargo, or a Bank of America account. Well, of course, other banks are being targeted, but what happens is that you get a phone call, and it's from your bank. And they say, you know, there's trouble with your account, and here's your social security number, and let me verify your account information, and I'm going to give you your account number, by the way. And everything looks legit. And they say, you know, your money is in jeopardy, and we need you to transfer it from this account to another account. So you're like, okay, this is my life savings. I better protect it. Then you transfer the money. The second that you do that, you have lost all your savings. One woman lost $700,000 this way. Another person lost $100,000 in just like a nanosecond. So if you get a call from your bank, just keep in mind, it's probably not legit. You can always go drop by your bank. You can call your bank. Don't Google that phone number, by the way. Always go to the official site. You got to be so careful nowadays. Number 3, wow. You don't browse the internet browse for you. What's going on? Google may not be dead. They came out with a new project this past week called Mariner. And let's say you want groceries. You give it a list. Mariner will open a website like Walmart, search for the items, and then instantly add them to your cart. It can also help you look for flights, shop household items, look for recipes. It does everything for you. So it's not like you're going to be searching the web and going to all these different places. You go to one spot. Think of it as ChatGPT 4.0 model that's on steroids. Is it here yet? Not yet, but Google may not be the Titanic just yet. All right, moving on to number 4. Cheaters are going to cheat, but what about in Las Vegas? See, it used to be when you'd go to Vegas that you could not bring your phone into the casino. They didn't want anybody snapping any pictures. Social media came along, and now the casinos are like, maybe we ought to let people take some pictures with their phones. Well, what's happening in some casinos is that they're using the phones as hidden cameras. 2 guys got caught. They walked into the casino. They played some blackjack. They thought something was suspicious was going on because the casino was like, how come they're winning every single hand? What they found was an extensive plan. One guy places his phone on the table, and then it's angled to snap video of the cards as the dealer has dealt them. The second guy taped a phone to his stomach, but the shirt had tiny holes so the camera could secretly record the images. They were sent real time to outside the casino, who was then counting all the cards that relayed it back to the guy's earpiece that you couldn't even see its little tiny magnet. Wow. They stole about $220,000 that way, and they got caught. Finally, this coming at number 5, robotic pets are bringing smiles to lonely older adults. New York alone handed out 30,000 LifeLock cats and dogs. They purr, they bark, they respond to touch, just like the real thing. And they especially work with folks that have Alzheimer's or dementia. Another benefit, no poop scooping. Yeah, gotta love those robotic dogs. Hey, listen, anybody can buy your personal info online. I'm talking about advertising companies, stalkers, scammers, thieves, even the government insurance companies. That's why I wanted to remove my personal info from data brokers and people search sites. They're just scummy. I tried a few companies. Let me tell you, hands down, Incognito was the best. My personal data has been removed from hundreds of data broker and people search sites, and they're still working on more. My name is on almost 50 suppression lists, meaning they can't add me back ever. So take control of your personal information, reduce the risk of spam, scams, and identity theft. Now, during the holidays, when there's so much to do and moving so quickly, it's super easy to make a mistake and just hand over your personal data without even realizing it. That's why you need to go to privacykim.com. Let's say this, privacykim.com. You're going to save 60%. That's privacykim.com. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about these SIM swapping scams, spreading like crazy. And also, a letter from our listener mail we're going to answer in real time here on the Kim Komando Show. And of course, we have just all of your fantastic phone calls you never, ever want to miss. How'd you like to win a $500 Amazon gift card? You can, and I could be calling you to say, hey, you're so lucky, but not if you don't enter to win. You want to go to winfromkim.com, no purchase required. Once again, that's winfromkim.com to enter to win that $500 Amazon gift card. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. Let me tell you, we are in for such a treat. Joining us, such an honor, is George Noory. He is the legendary host of Coast to Coast AM. And let me tell you, he's just been the leading voice of the unexplained for decades. He talks about UFOs, the afterlife, and just about everything in between. Well, now he's here to answer some questions about these massive drones that have been spotted over New York and New Jersey. And so many people want answers. And it's not just like one little drone or two drones. We're talking about like massive drones, 30 or 50 every single night. Now, they say that these drones are commercial grade. They're larger than the ones like, for example, that you might be flying around your backyard. Now, some are even as big as the size of some SUVs. Could you imagine? So what exactly are they? Is it foreign surveillance? Is it something like not out of our world? George, what do you think?
Kim, good to be with you. They obviously are not from hobbyists. There's not a bunch of kids flying these little toys around. As you mentioned, they're as big as SUVs in some cases. A congressman out of New Jersey believes that there is a Iranian ship parked outside the east coast of the United States, and it is sending these drones over certain military bases, Donald Trump's golf course, and strange strategic locations. I don't know what it is. I'm going to rule out extraterrestrial. It doesn't sound like that. And these things, whatever they may be, are avoiding capture. They shut their lights off. They are undetectable in some cases. It's very, very bizarre. This could be an act of war for all I know.
Wow. Now, they appear in clusters. So obviously this is a coordination effort, right?
Yeah, they're definitely launching these things in teams of 5 to 10 to 15 at a time. and they just hang around. But who knows what they're doing? What are they surveying? What are they trying to get? What kind of information? It's bizarre, but it just doesn't sound like the work of a hobbyist, some guy in his backyard with about 50 drones. Something else very, very nefarious about this.
And obviously, like we talked about, these are not hobbyist drones. These are advanced drones. It seems to be, I mean, not that I have any superior intelligence in this on any level, but it seems to be like some type of coordinated military effort, don't you think?
I have to assume, Kim, they are. They're just not letting us all know what's going on. But this is very bizarre.
Well, Governor Phil Murphy says that these drones don't pose any safety concern. But then you have the state senator, Doug Steinhardt. He says the exact opposite.
Well, and they both might be right. Right now, there's nothing going on, but there could be later on. They have to monitor these things. But all I know is in many places, drones are legal as long as they're registered with the FAA and they're allowed to fly around certain spots. But this is weird. This one's a strange story. When it came to me a few weeks ago, I went, what?
But there's no way that you think they're UFOs.
I don't think so. I would rule out UFOs in this particular case. There seems to be too many, and there just seems to be too many strange things. I mean, the fact that there's an Iranian ship parked off the East Coast, that doesn't make sense.
Have you ever heard this happening anywhere else in the world?
No, I really haven't. Drones are relatively new. They're several years old, and they're getting more and more prevalent. But the other bizarre thing about this story is the size of the reported drones. As big as an SUV, that's a pretty big drone. And most of these things are about 2 or 3 feet long. What is
It's humongous. It's huge.
What is a huge drone doing flying around like that? What kind of information is it trying to obtain? And the other thing you got to be concerned about is drones carry missiles in some cases. Let's hope to God that these aren't warfare.
If they did contain missiles, would we have enough time to shoot them down?
Oh, yeah, we've got the technology to take these out. There's no question. The question is, why are we permitting them to stick around at this point? There's some helicopters that have been seen in the area, and these things seem to avoid those. But we have to be a little more aggressive, I believe, into getting these things knocked down. So it's almost as if we already know what they are, and we're not doing anything about it.
Why don't you think we are shooting them down?
They maybe, as you mentioned, think that there's really nothing too dangerous about what they are. Mm-hmm. But somebody is sending up drones the size of SUVs, and there's a reason for that. This is not a hobby. There's something going on here. We need to get to the bottom of it.
It seems like everybody in the government's pretty silent about it, though. I mean, it's not like you have anybody in the Biden administration like saying, okay, this is what's going on, here's what we know, and here's what we're thinking.
Well, that tells me they know what's going on and that they're keeping it secret for some reason right now. I don't know why, but they are.
Why don't you think? Why don't you think they're talking?
Well, maybe there's something that it's a little more nefarious, a little more dangerous, and they don't want to alert and panic the public.
Yeah, I have a tendency to agree with you. I do. When do you think we're going to find out what they really are, what they're doing?
If we ever. Maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah. Well, the FBI says they're investigating. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen the FBI up in the air yet.
Could you imagine? See the little FBI going in, just waving at them, going, hey, how are you? Good to see you again.
Little tiny pilots and drones. Who knows what?
But it's frightening. It is. I was thinking about that. If these drones appeared over my home every night, I would be frightened.
It'd be, especially if you had a swimming pool.
Yeah, because of that. Yes. Well, George, thanks for spending some time with us. I always appreciate you jumping on board, kind of straighten things out.
You get to the bottom of this thing. It's a bizarre story.
It is very bizarre. Very bizarre. Thanks again, George.
Okay, you got it.
Hey, by the way, you can find your local affiliate for George Noory right now at coasttocoastam.com. Once again, it's coasttocoastam.com. Hey, are you struggling with debt from credit cards, personal loans, collections, and medical bills? PDS Debt can help you get out of debt. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Boy, and I'll tell you, when I couldn't pay my bills, I wish that PDS was around when I was starting this company. Now, you can trust them. I totally checked them out. You can get a free debt analysis. It takes just 30 seconds. Head to pdsdebt.com/Kim. That's pdsdebt.com/Kim. All right, we all love our air fryers, but you may not think about that your data and your voice recordings are being sent to communist China. Yeah, what's up with that? Okay. A lot of gadgets that are made in China reporting everything back. But there's a website where you can see exactly where what you're about to buy is actually being made. And that website is productfrom.com. Once again, that's productfrom.com. All right, still to come, we have a SIM swapping scam to tell you about. And gentleman wants some free software, sent me a note this past week. And of course, more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. FBI data shows that the holidays see a sharp rise in burglaries and theft. That's why you need SimpliSafe. And you can save 50% on a brand new SimpliSafe system right now with a select monitoring plan. That's simplysafekim.com. simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. All right, so I got this note from a gentleman who's looking for some free software because he doesn't want to pay for Microsoft Office. We're going to be answering that as well as going back to more of your phone calls. But let's talk about artificial intelligence right now and celebrity voices. I mean, we're talking about James Dean yelling, "You're tearing me apart" in Rebel Without a Cause, or Sir Laurence Olivier in Hamlet. Well, there's a company called 11 Labs, and they are out there bringing back the voices of dead Hollywood celebrities through something called their Reader app. It can turn anything that you write, text messages, articles, PDFs, into voiceovers. And these are AI versions of, say, Judy Garland, James Dean, as I mentioned, Burt Reynolds, and a whole bunch more. Here's how it works. You just pop open the 11 Reader app, you type in anything that you want, you pick the voice, and you hit play. Listen to what Burt has to say about me.
Whenever you listen to Kim Komando, you're always in the know about everything tech.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that? I mean, you know, that it can sound like anybody, including you. So that's why you got to be really careful about your voice. We're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. Let's see. Greg in Savannah, Georgia. You're up next.
Well, hi, Kim. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful. What's going on? How can I help you out?
Hey, so I sent a message to you guys through your system, and I was contacted about my story. And in short, Kim, what happened was I was scammed about a year ago using the crypto in the crypto space, using crypto.com.
What happened?
In short, Kim, what happened was I was pig butchered.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. But I know you've done stories on this on your show, and yeah, I've listened to you quite a while. By the way, 10, 15 years I've been listening to you. Been very helpful, and I'm on your daily newsletter. So that's what happened, Kim. I don't know if you can.
Well,
you
know
can
what?
give me some
Before we just gloss over that you got pig butchered, tell me what happened. How did they contact you? And then how did they lead you on? And then when did you know that you were like, oh, no, I was so dumb?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so what happened was I was contacted on a social media platform by a person posing as a professional cryptocurrency trader who used a platform and what's called a D app located on a website. And here's the website, encryptionstar.com. Encryptionstar.com, which was also accessed via Trust Wallet, but after weeks and months of them building trust with me, it was a long, sophisticated con job, basically. I populated my account with wired bank funds to crypto.
How much?
.com. A lot. It was a series of deposits that I made, series of, say, 5-figure deposits over the course of several months.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone. I mean,
gone.
And that's that's why it's called pig butchering, because they contact you. They set up these fake exchanges. It looks real. It feels real.
Oh, it looked really real.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks very real.
And they promise you these great returns, and then you just log into this fake platform and you see the returns and you're like, hey, this is great, right? This is fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to.
But then when you go to
when you go to
download or
you can't take it
withdraw,
out.
and you can't. No.
You just can't take it out. There's no magical formula to get it back. And then to make things even worse is that when you go to say, I want to find out who got my crypto and I want to be able to get it back, is that then even more scammers are coming out. They're like, oh yeah, we can help you. We can help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And they're just going to scam you again. You're like,
Right.
it's awful. It's horrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. It's the worst feeling. Your heart just sinks, and you go, "Oh gosh, I was taken big time here." So
Yeah, it is. And
so
it's
don't know if there's any way to recover from something like this, or
There, you know what? There isn't. There's no magical path. They're gone. They're gone. That money is on the blockchain. It's anonymous. It's gone, and that's why they're using crypto, because and that's part of the allure of cryptocurrency is that you can make these quote unquote anonymous transactions, which means it's hard to trace it back.
So even Crypto.com is not culpable because they hosted these scammers? I mean...
You can try to contact them.
Well, I have. It's been a year since this has happened.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably... And that may not have even been the real Crypto.com. That could have been a fake Crypto.com too that you saw. Because what they're doing now is that they're using different letters, like maybe a Greek letter that initially you can't notice it. And so if you went to a fake platform that it connected to something else, instead of that, it could have been another letter from another language. So it looked like you were going there, and it felt like you were going there, and all the logos looked the same that you were going there, but it wasn't them. It was all a big sham. And one thing that I'm so glad that you called me today, Greg, is that maybe there's somebody listening right now involved in a pig butchering scam and they don't want to believe it, but it happens. And when you give them your money, you're never going to see it again. Unfortunately, you're just not going to get it back. And I wish I could just wave my magical wand and make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else in the world, but it will. And it's probably happening right now to somebody who's listening or watching the show. And again, if you have any questions, if you wonder if you're getting scammed, just call me. I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry. But 2025 will be better for you, I assure you. So many scammers. So many. All right. We're not getting any younger. I know. Sorry to say that. But that's why you need to add collagen to your diet. Let me tell you, it's a super powerhouse packed with protein and scientifically proven to help with bone health, tissue recovery, and it even smooths out wrinkles, thickens your hair, strengthens weak or damaged nails. Let me tell you, I've been taking collagen for years because as we age, our collagen levels drop. That's where Native Path comes in. Their collagen formula is designed for quick absorption, making a difference you can actually feel and see. Plus, it's as pure as it gets. One single ingredient, no GMOs, no fillers, no gluten, no dairy, or any of that extra stuff, and no horse-sized pills. With Native Path, it's easy just to add it to your routine. You can mix it into your coffee, your smoothie, your oatmeal, whatever you want, with no clumps and no funky taste. Right now, as a Kim Komando listener, you get 45% off with free shipping. You have to go to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. All right, here's the deal. We're talking about SIM swapping scams. Here's how it goes down. You're checking your phone and suddenly it just stops working. You can't make a call, nothing's going on. So you try a landline or another phone and you call your carrier. Then comes the shocker that your number has been moved to a brand new phone, but you're like, I didn't buy a new phone. That's called SIM swapping. The scammers get your name, your details, and your phone number. How they do it is usually they sweet talk your carrier to switch your number to their phone, and then they get control. They get access to all your two-factor authentication codes, so this way they can totally get into your bank account. So here's what I want you to do today. Call your carrier and set up a secret PIN so that this way, if there's any changes to your account, that person will have to give the PIN number or it doesn't go through. Again, just call your carrier and say, I want to set up a PIN, a security PIN on my account. All right. Still to come, of course, some great calls and then a letter from our listener mail about free options instead of just paying for Microsoft Office here on the Kim Komando Show. As if the holidays weren't chaotic enough, did you know that there's a heightened risk of data theft and fraud? Hackers know you're more likely to be shopping in a hurry, so it's easier than ever to hijack your connection and then steal personal information like credit card numbers and banking passwords, especially on those unsecured public Wi-Fi networks. That's why I use ExpressVPN. It's an easy-to-use app that encrypts and reroutes all of your online traffic through secure servers, making it virtually impossible to hack into your connection. So whether you're at a coffee shop searching for that perfect gift or at the airport finalizing travel details, you can be sure that your personal information is just fully protected. ExpressVPN also keeps your online activity private from third parties who want nothing more than to bombard you with targeted ads during the holiday rush. But with ExpressVPN, not even Santa will know what you've been browsing. It's easy to use. It just takes one click. And right now, you can use my special link to get 3 extra months of ExpressVPN for free. You just need to go to expressvpn.com/Kim. expressvpn.com/Kim. Diane in Cedar Rapids. Hi there, Diane.
Hi, Miss Kim. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How can I help you?
Good. Well, first of all, I love to listen to your show. You give me grins and smiles for how you talk to people and all your information that you have for everybody. We really appreciate you out here in the regular world.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Thank you, Diane.
Well, my main reason for calling is I'm wanting a program or whatever for transcribing basically sermons for Sunday mornings for my pastor. And what I found, because years ago I used one, and it's like it took me so long to proof it because, of course, when someone is preaching, they're talking different phrases than the normal correction of the internet does. And so it was taking longer to proof it. What I started doing was then listening to it in my ear and then repeating it through my voice to the machine. And it's crazy.
You got a couple of ways to do this. One is, I don't know if you've tried this, but, transcription is now free basically in Microsoft Word and Google Docs. Meaning that, and we've got the steps on how to do it because it does dictation now. And so it's under free dictation tools. And so you could just, conceptually, you could play this off your phone and then see how well it does. Okay. If it doesn't do very well, then that's when you got to call in the professionals. And by that, what I mean is that there's a website called otter.ai, and that's OTTER.ai. It's the one that I use if I need to transcribe anything. Like we will transcribe podcasts and shows and calls and things like that, because this way it allows us to put it into a database so we can refer to it later. It's a pay. It depends upon the package, anywhere between $8 or $50 a month. But it's very good, Diane. I mean, it's very good. It's as if there's a person that's listening to each and every word. Also, what I like about it is I don't know if you have any times of where there's more than 1 or 2 people or 3 people in a sermon or going back and forth, is that with Otter.ai, it'll identify that as person 1, 2, and 3. And then you can refer back and say, person 1 is Diane, person 2 is Kim, and person 3 is the devil.
And we would clip him out.
Exactly. We just wiped that guy right out.
Off the board. But no, that's interesting. Yeah, I will definitely check into that.
Yeah, so just, so you can, there's also one that's actually, there's another one that's pretty good. I'm just going to tell you about it because you probably don't need it.
Okay.
But there's one that's relatively new called Descript. And Descript is, if you ever wanted to edit the audio, so like you have the text, okay? And you're like, you know what? I need to take that sentence out of the audio. So you can take that sentence out of the text, and it will automatically take that sentence out of the audio.
Wow.
I know. That's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Now that's pretty expensive. It's like you pay, it's like a certain number of dollars that you pay for hours, but I think it's free for like an hour in case you ever want to try that out. So that's called Descript.
Oh.
Now it's time to break it out. And if you need the tools to get that cassette tape, say into a digital format, whatever it is, we've got some tips over on the website to make that magic happen too. And Brad in Pensacola, Florida, you're up next.
Hey there, Kim. How are you?
I'm great. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to know, is there a website out there that I can go to that would have all the different websites or places that I've signed up for that I could do is to either delete that my information on that site or update?
No. There isn't. Okay. I mean, there just is no such animal. There isn't. It's just, I know you're like, okay, well, thanks, Kim. No, I mean, there are things that you can do, but there's no like main repository that says, here is everything that Brad signed up for. So Brad, just check these boxes and we'll remove you from everything. No.
Well, I know Google Chrome, Google has where if you save all your passwords through there, you could do is they would do is tell you if your password's been compromised
for sure.
and so forth.
For sure.
But I mean, that would do is listed if you've done it that way. But I was just checking to see if there's any other way to do it.
Unfortunately,
that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not. I mean, your easiest way is just to, like you mentioned, Google Chrome, whatever browser that you're using. You can look at all your saved passwords, and then it's pretty good idea that you probably have an account there. You could go through your email inbox for any type of email that you got in, a welcome email, or any login information. The autofill data, as I mentioned in your browser, would probably show you also a list of websites that you have saved some credentials. But, as far as just, having one big website, I mean, here's an idea, folks. What do you think? Is this $1 million idea, Brad?
It could be.
It could be. I wouldn't want to have my money wrapped up in it. Just letting you know.
No, I wouldn't either.
Because, the whole browsing experience is going to change. Big time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
big time. I mean, if it's,
yeah,
AI is wiping out the web. And it's just, it's really a remarkable time that we're in right now. Because I don't think a lot of people realize what's going on. I really don't.
Yeah, it's going to change drastically.
And it's going to happen very, very, very quickly. It's happening quickly. Web traffic is down to websites. Traffic is down to websites, rather. I don't know. Last stat I saw was like 60%. Whoa. It's a lot of decreasing advertising revenues, folks, right there. Brad, thanks for your call today. All right. Still to come, a letter from our listener mail here on the Kim Komando Show that you never want to miss. Over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one platform. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free right now at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. Just want to remind you, if you're just too shy to come on a big-time show and podcast, I get that, but I still want to help you out. And a great way to do that is for you to visit my website, Komando.com, the official website, of course, with a K. And then there's a link at the top that says Ask Kim. I read every single note that you guys and gals send me right there. Again, that's Komando.com. And up at the top, there's a link that says Ask Kim, like Bob in Atlanta. He wrote, "Hey, Kim, I'm now dating girls again and spending money on dinners. Is there a way to get Excel cheaper than on Microsoft's site?" Sounds like a fun guy to me. Okay. You can get a free option. One is called Free Office for Windows or Mac. And if you're on a Mac, you can just go ahead and download the free Apple Numbers app. But speaking of, Excel and spreadsheets, Bob, here's a line you can use. "Hey, how'd you like to go back to my place and change from portrait to landscape?" Ooh. Yeah. That wouldn't really work. Not at all. Hey, just a reminder, enter to win that $500 Amazon gift card. Go now to winfromkim.com.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 2.
I'll never forget when I was in Maui and we were driving around and my husband wanted to buy a guitar and my mom was with us. And so if you've ever been to Kahului in Maui, is that, everything kind of happens around the Costco. So we were driving along and we keep passing the Krispy Kreme donut shop. And I'm like, Barry, I think you're going the wrong way because I feel like we're going in circles. So we go around again looking for this guitar shop and we still can't find it. Go past the Krispy Kreme shop 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Till finally out of the back seat, I hear my mother saying, you know what, guys? God is talking to us. He wants us to go to the Krispy Kreme donut shop. And I was like, oh, man, you'll pull anything out to go there. And speaking of Krispy Kreme, they were the victim of a data breach this past weekend, their whole ordering system. They're not saying exactly what was taken, but you can bet it was going to be your name, your credit card details, and, of course, your favorite donuts. It seems like every single day we have yet another data breach. And that's why I'm here, to make sure that you guys and gals are super safe in today's digital age, because everything now is tech. And so you have to know that you always want to be tech ahead and never left tech behind. And that's my job as America's beloved digital goddess. Of course, I'm Kim Komando. Thank you so much for being here. And you can find my show on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. You can also find me streaming in your favorite radio app. And of course, you can now get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. So wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a big old K. And a special shout out and Merry Christmas goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, talking about all the servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force in 175 different countries. And in case you ever need some of our sponsor deals, just got to go to one spot. That's komando.com/sponsors. And I know that you have some questions for me, and I love to help each and every one of you out. And that's why our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. And let me tell you, T-Mobile's advanced 5G network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. And I'd like to thank Oracle for helping to make this show possible. I mean, even if you think it's a bit overhyped, AI is suddenly everywhere, from self-driving cars to molecular medicine to business efficiency. If it's not in your industry yet, let me tell you, it's coming fast. But AI needs a lot of speed and computing power. So how do you compete without costs just spiraling out of control? That's why it's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, plus all of your AI and machine learning workloads. OCI costs 50% less for computing and 80% less for networking, so you're just saving a pile of money. Thousands of businesses have already upgraded to OCI, including MGM Resorts, Specialized Bikes, and Fireworks AI. And right now, Oracle's offering to cut your current cloud bill in half if you move to OCI. For new U.S. customers with minimum financial commitment, offer ends December 31st, 2024. And see if your company qualifies for this special offer at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim. Alrighty then, every single day, you've heard me say it, I visit at least 35, 40, sometimes 50 different sites to make sure that I know exactly what's going on. I speak to industry insiders. And I'm going to start this hour a little bit different because we are pretty much in the final throes of all this Christmas and holiday shopping. And so many of you guys and gals are asking me what should I be buying? So let's kick things off with something that I have bought way too many of, but has saved my sanity. I'm talking about Apple AirTags. I have them on everything. Okay, I've got them on every keychain that I own. I have them in my wallet. I have them in my purses, my laptop bags. But best of all, let me tell you, I don't mean to speak badly because he's not here, but my husband loses everything, every single thing. Okay, so I've got him on his wallets. I have him in his cars, on his keychains, in his laptop bags, attached to his Kindle, attached to his shoes. I mean, whatever I can think of. I mean, I really should just put one on him. So if you have somebody who loses a lot of things, you want to get an Apple AirTag. I also put one on the dog's collar too. Now, if you're on Team Android, you're going to be looking at Tile or Pebble trackers. All right, what are some other hot gifts? An Amazon Echo or Google Nest Hub. They start around $100, but it's great for anybody who's trying to get into, making their home a smart home. There's also the PlayStation Portal Remote Player, and that's for the gamer in your life. It's about $200. Now, what about that person who always wants to be, they call us the early adopters, the one who wants the latest and greatest tech. That's when you're looking at the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. They're $300. Of course, they can take calls, stream music, capture photos, and a lot of people are freaked out by that because it's just glasses. You can just hit a button and then you can just take a picture. LG's signature OLED TV, that's that transparent TV. It's just beautiful. It's expensive, $2,500. The Holobike by Sega, this is a VR cycling experience. Okay, $2,500. I told you it wasn't cheap. Now, what about phones? Okay, the iPhone 16, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold, the Google Pixel 8, and what about some white elephant winners? There's vegan cheese. I don't know why, but this is like supposedly like a really hot gift. It's like where AI will identify plant-based ingredients that will give you cheeses like brie, blue cheese, feta cheese that tastes and feels like the real thing. I don't buy it. I haven't tasted it, but I can't buy it. I mean, I tried plant-based cheese this past week, and it was just like tofu. It was like tasteless. Yuck. I mean, if you're going to have cheese, you want to have some good cheese, right? Personalized potatoes, I guess those are a pretty big deal. They were on Shark Tank. Kevin O'Leary offered $50,000 for a 10% equity plus $1 royalty per potato until he recouped $150,000. I would have given him that deal. It's a personalized potato that you put somebody's face on. Okay. White elephant. Hey, if you need some more gift suggestions or you're looking for what I just mentioned, just head over to komando.com and hit that button that says shopping. All right. Meanwhile, some other big news out this past week is that if you upgraded your iPhone to the latest and greatest, is that now it's like Siri went to college. I opened up an email because it was an anniversary here of one of our team members, and it came up and it automatically just wrote a reply. And I was like, okay, that was pretty darn good. Wow, pretty darn good. And finally, this holiday season, there's this new trend where people are giving each other unclaimed mail mystery boxes. Okay, a company like Fun Delivered, and it was founded by Rebecca Dahlman and Jenna Butler. They've sold 90,000 of these boxes over the past 3 years. Now, each box contains a mishmash of undelivered and unclaimed packages. They say offering a surprise at each unwrapping. Yeah, let's talk about surprise, all right? They found everything from cheap Chanel knockoff handbags to costumes. But there seems to be a lot of kids, cover your ears, sex toys. Yeah. It makes you wonder. I mean, someone goes online, they buy one of these things, they don't get it, they don't claim it. I don't know. In fact, one woman gifted her boss a box only to find lingerie and sex toys. That's what she gave him. Talk about awkward. Fun Delivered offers mystery boxes starting at $40. I admit, raise my hand, I actually tried to buy one this past week because I thought it would make a great gag gift for Barry. And they were all sold out. There's a new business idea for somebody, I'm sure. You have Gov Deals. That's an online marketplace, sells unclaimed property and surplus from government agencies. No telling what you'll get there. I mean, you have toilets, computers, pallets, hopefully no sex toys. Hey, listen, when I started my business, I lived off my credit cards and even had a car repoed. We've all been there, getting deeper in debt every single day with the interest just out of control. Let me tell you, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I sat down with the chief operations officer of PDS Debt, and what an amazing service. PDS Debt has personalized options for anyone struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, and medical bills. If you're making payments every single month on your debt and your balances just are not going down, take care of it right now. PDS will help you out. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies. There's no minimum credit score required. Bad and fair credit accepted. You can get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/Kim. It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/Kim. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about voice cloning scams that are targeting you. We have a letter from our listener mail about Phil in Miami who's wondering if the boss is actually watching. And of course, we've got your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. I'd like to give you a $500 Amazon gift card. I'm giving one away right now, but you have to enter to win. And the place to go is winfromkim.com. No purchase required, of course. That's winfromkim.com. Now, aside from the big show here, the Kim Komando Show, I host a podcast where I get to speak with some really interesting folks. And I sat down with Kagan Dunlap. He's a U.S. Marine who has been targeted by romance scammers using his photos since 2015. Why? Because the guy is hot. The guy is good looking. He has a YouTube channel with over 600,000 subscribers. Here, take a listen. So when you are, not that you're doing anymore, when you're out there and you're single and you're looking,
right?
And if some hot woman says, "Hi, Andrew, I'm in love with you,"
right?
Do you think wow, it's my lucky day?
The first message? That's the first message?
Yes.
No, I don't think that at all. I think it's a scam.
Well, joining us is Kagan Dunlap. He is a good-looking U.S. Marine.
I'll be the judge of that.
And since 2015, he's been targeted by romance scammers who are using his name and likeness and image in order to scam women. And it's gotten so bad that some of these women are reaching out to his wife saying, I don't know if you know this, but Kagan and I are running away to Switzerland and we're going to get married.
Oh, no.
I know. So joining us right now is Kagan.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine. He is good looking.
Okay,
you were right.
Okay, he's better looking than you.
Well, most people on the planet are better looking than me.
So Kagan, thanks for being here. Read about what you have done. Take us to back to when it all started.
So it really started in 2015, I would say roughly. So I would say that the time where they started to feed off of my photos and take photos and videos and stuff like that was 2015. But I first found out that this was happening in 2016 while I was actually on a field operation in Yuma, Arizona. I had a photo that I had posted in early 2015, probably in January. We were doing some training in 29 Palms, California, the Marine Air Ground Task Force training facility over there. And I had posted a picture on my Instagram of myself in a Humvee, and you could see this thing that's called a trip ticket that was under the visor at the top. Okay. And on this trip ticket, it's basically a way that you log your distance and where you're traveling and stuff. And on there is a list of phone numbers for contacts for people that were involved in the process of getting the vehicle issued out and all that stuff. Kind of complicated, but point is, a lady called one of the sergeants that was on that list and called and was like, "Hey, do you know this guy? I've been talking to him for a year. He hasn't responded to any of my messages and apparently took some money or something like that." And so that guy, his name's Sergeant Staggs. I think he's in the Army now. He got out of the Marine Corps. He's in the Army. He called me. He was like, "Hey, do you know this lady by any chance?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" I didn't have any idea what he was talking about. And it turns out that she had sent him a picture that she got his number from, which was that picture. And I'm like, oh, this is what's going on. So somebody had been sending her photos of me claiming to be me and was trying to, and this is a very stereotypical thing. I've got dozens and dozens of friends that this has happened to as well, where, there's people that have reached out to them thinking they had been talking to them or in a relationship with them, and typically it always starts off with they're just trying to romance them. And then it always ends up asking for money in some way. At some point, it always ends up there, either some disaster befell them or their family, or they can't travel, or the military's not paying them, or some other nonsense that's not true. And they try to feed off of people's emotions to get them to give them money or to buy gift cards for them or to do things of that nature.
So Kagan, how many women have actually, do you think, been scammed using your name, your name and your image? And have they reached out to you directly to say, "Hey, why did you stop talking to me?"
So I couldn't tell you, hundreds easily. It's getting pretty sketchy out there, especially with AI.
Do you think that your military history or your online popularity is the number one reason that you're being used in these scams?
100% military service, because it happens to some. Yeah, it started off like that before anybody knew who I was, before I had any level of following whatsoever. And it happens to tons and tons of my friends. I've got a good friend of mine named Tim Kennedy. I don't know if you know who that is. He's been affected by this. He used to be a UFC fighter for a while, pretty well known, former Green Beret. I think he still serves in some sort of capacity. I'm not sure, but he's been affected by this a ton, like tons of fake accounts of him all over the place, scamming women. Another good friend of mine is a big YouTuber out in California. Austin Alexander runs a big fitness organization out there called the Battle Bunker and the Hypercon Games. He's also been affected by this a ton. He got out of the Navy and he's still being affected by it all the time. It just like anybody I know that's ever posted pictures of themselves in uniform on the internet, practically almost all of them have been affected by this in some way. And it's weird because like sometimes these scammers will, they'll make fake accounts of this person and then follow people that this person follows, which then they're like, hey, do you have like an extra account or something I don't know about? It's weird. It's like real creepy and insidious and just like, there's just like this level of insidiousness to it. It's just like gross.
Well, there's also now human trafficking that's happening too.
Oh yeah.
Asia, where where there's a story, I think the New York Times wrote about it, where a guy thought he was getting a programming job.
Oh yeah.
And he ended up in Malaysia and as a prisoner, and he had to scam like 14 hours a day, and if he didn't make enough money, they'd beat him up, and then finally he raised enough money to get himself out. And I mean, when you think about scammers, you don't really have that vision until these stories are being exposed. But Kagan, thanks for being here, and word to the wise, right? You see him, a hot military guy or gal. Okay.
Well, first off, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah. Hopefully this gets the word out to somebody. Because I guarantee there's some other middle-aged folks out there that maybe they don't know, and I mean, typically this kind of thing impacts folks that are in the baby boomer generation, if I had to guess, more than likely, because they're may not be as tech savvy, or they're not used to this type of stuff because this is new. This is fairly new in culture. Like it used to be like the Nigerian princes emailing you on Yahoo or Hotmail or something, and now it's all being done on social media and dating apps. So yeah.
And it's and it's sad because they're preying on people's loneliness, and especially during the holidays, it goes up higher.
Yeah, and their emotions and like using love as a way to scam money, man. That's just that's a huge bummer,
Yeah, I love you so much. I need your money.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Like that doesn't add up,
Well, Kagan, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
If we save one person,
seriously,
just one person, we all did our job.
Yeah, even one person makes a difference,
It does, absolutely.
Now, this is just a snippet. If you want to hear the entire podcast, wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K, and you want Kim Komando today, or you can go ahead and watch us over at youtube.com/Kim Komando. During the holidays, when there's so much to do or moving quickly to get it all done, it's super easy to make a mistake and hand over your personal data without even realizing it. That's why you need to visit privacykim.com for my deal with Incogni to remove yourself from the internet. Get 60% off right now at privacykim.com. Once again, that's privacykim.com. All right, so Phil in Miami is wondering if the boss is actually watching everything that he does. It's a shocker, Phil, and everybody else here on the Kim Komando Show. Hate to break it to you, but we're not getting any younger. That's right. But you can bring back your natural radiance with Native Path Collagen. It's scientifically backed to increase bone mineral density, support tissue recovery, reduce those wrinkles, enhance hair thickness, and strengthen weak or damaged nails. Now, you can get 45% off and free shipping right now by going to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. We have so many phone calls to take and so many tips to pass along. Like, for example, voice cloning scams. You're not going to believe what's going on with that. And before we do all that, let's talk about how you might have some old gadgets and devices that are laying around. You don't use them anymore. Maybe they don't even work. Well, you can turn that into Amazon gift cards. What? It's called the Amazon Trade-In Program. Once you go to that page on Amazon, any device that you purchase on Amazon will automatically appear. But not just that. You can also search for devices that you want to trade in that you didn't buy on Amazon. You just answer a few questions, you get a quote, and if you agree to the amount, they make it so easy. You just print a free shipping label to send it in, and then once Amazon gets your device, Gift cards will appear on your account automatically. Oh, so nice. So, what I want you to do is to go through your house, go through your office, gather up all those gadgets, and then turn them into cash. All right, Mike in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Hello, Kim. It's such a pleasure to speak with you.
Well, thank you. What's going on?
Well, I am getting ready to launch out on the adventure of a lifetime, which is a through hike of the Appalachian Trail.
Whoa, wait, that's awesome. That is so amazing. That's so great. And it's over, what is it? Is it 2,100 miles, 2,200 miles?
You are very close. It's 2,198.
Okay, and then now how long is that going to take you?
I don't know for sure, but the typical is 5 to 7 months. And I'm an older guy, so it's, I'm probably going to be closer to the 7-month range.
That's something that is on my bucket list. I don't know when I'll ever have the time to do it, but I just think that would be so amazing. So how are you training for it?
Well, in a sense, I've been training for the last 30 years. I've been an avid hiker for a long, long time, but I get out there almost every day. I've got my full pack loaded up, just like I was out there backpacking on the trail, and I hike 5 days a week. One of those days, my day off work, I do a longer hike. So, I feel about as ready as I can be. And
how many pounds is the backpack?
Mine, what they call your base weight, which is the weight of the pack minus food and water. The base weight is about 21 pounds, which is pretty close to ultralight. With everything loaded up, it's around 30 pounds.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. You know what? I want you to, are you going to be on social when you're doing this?
I am, yeah. I'm going to have a Trail Journals site and then also on Facebook.
Oh, you know what? Before you leave today, sir, I want you to make sure that you give Maddie, our call screener today, those links, because I am totally going to follow you. I really am. This is going to be so much fun. Okay, so how can I help you on your trip? What's going on?
Well, so I've got a pretty good Android. I've got a Galaxy phone, but I don't want to use it to take a lot of photos because it's going to run the battery down. I don't want to keep it powered up all the time. That phone is a lifeline. I need it for navigation, to call shuttles, to check trail conditions, etc.
Sure.
And yet I definitely want to document my journey with photos, and I want to be able to share them on social media. So I'm trying to find a lightweight phone that has some type of capability. I don't know what it would be. I'm not real techie, so I don't know if it would be Bluetooth or what, to get those photos either directly onto a social media site or into my phone where I could then put them on social media.
Okay, so you said a smartphone. Do you mean a camera? You're looking for a camera?
Oh, did I say a smartphone? I'm sorry. Yes. I have a smartphone. Okay. Yes, I'm looking for a camera.
Okay. All right. Okay, so here's what you want to get, and I'm going to send you a link to this. Okay. Maddie's going to send you a link. Okay. You really only have one choice. I wish you had 8 choices so I could give you the pros and cons, but you only need one. I want you to go get a GoPro Hero. That's exactly what you need. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so you can transfer all of the photos and videos to your phone using the GoPro app. So this way you can share this whole amazing adventure with all your family members and friends. It also has stabilization. So this way, as you're moving quickly or hiking and on uneven terrain, that it's not going to be jumping all around. And they sell it as a package. And so I'd like you to get the package because with the package, you get a head strap. GoPro is just this little tiny box. So you can put it on your head, and it has a 32 gig card. But in the package, it also comes with 2 rechargeable batteries. So when you are at a hostel or whatever, that you can charge the batteries, and then you have 2 extra batteries on the side. But the batteries last, 8 hours or some crazy number like that. So you're going to be fine. So take a look at the bundle. We're going to send you a link to that. And wow, I am so proud of you. That is so amazing. And if you want a Kim Komando Show fanny pack for the trip, you just let me know and I'm happy to send you one. Mike, thank you for your call and best wishes on your adventure. Now, I want you to call me when you get done so we can go through how great it was, okay? And we can tell everybody here on the show. Let me tell you, there's a lot of outdated tech myths out there, like magnets will erase your data, and overcharging your devices kills the battery life, and you could never get a virus on your phone. Yeah, you can. You know, your phone is a huge target for malicious software. Just think about all the private and financial info that you have stored on it. I mean, here are some symptoms that could spell trouble. Your phone is slower than usual, your apps are crashing, and your battery is draining faster than usual. Now, your phone does have some built-in safeguards to protect you, but the more help you can get, the better. And if your phone isn't protected by antivirus software, now's the time for you to get Total AV. It's the antivirus software I use and recommend. It protects you wherever you browse, it keeps your phone running efficiently, and spots shady websites for you. All that for just $19 for the first year. So stop waiting for the worst to happen. Go to protectwithkim.com right now for Total AV's 5-star antivirus protection for just $19 for the first year. That's protectwithkim.com, protectwithkim.com. All right, your bank may send you a notification and they'll say something like, we really want to protect your account. So we want to turn on voice authentication on your account. Now, of course, my voice is all over the internet. It is. And so I am so worried about voice cloning that I said absolutely no. But I started thinking about it. It's not just me or somebody like me who's in the public and we have our voice out there. Is that a voice can be cloned using AI software for just a few dollars with just as little as 10 seconds of audio. So if you have any audio of you posted on social media, that's probably all it would take for some scammer to clone your voice and then to use that voice verification to get into your bank accounts. So my advice is that if your bank, your financial institution wants to turn on voice authentication for your account, I want you to say no. As a matter of fact, I contacted all of my banking institutions and I turned it off. And I think that you all should do the same thing too. All right, Phil in Miami wants to know if his boss is actually tracking him. He's in for a shock here on the Kim Komando Show. There's no time like the holidays to realize that you have no idea what to get your loved ones. But I'll tell you, my go-to gift is something that they could use every single day, like Raycon's Everyday Earbuds. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds make for an amazing holiday gift for everyone on your nice list. They already have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews online, and their latest model is better than ever with a 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair 2 devices at once. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds also come with active noise cancellation, a feature that can be difficult to find at an accessible price point until now. Because Raycons start just half the price of other premium audio brands. And if your recipient is for some reason not as impressed as I am, Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee and easy returns. Save big for the holidays with up to 25% off at buyraycon.com/Kim. That's right, 25% off site-wide right now at buyraycon.com/Kim. Alrighty, back to the phones we go with Nancy in Phoenix. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for taking my call.
You betcha.
I just purchased a refurbished iPad 9 for my 11-year-old grandson, who's afraid to fly, so he keeps busy on his mom's phone to detract him. Anyway, I'm wondering if you could give me some information on the proper way for me to set up this new iPad for him as far as for an 11-year-old, security-wise.
Sure. Wait, before we talk about this, why is he afraid to fly?
Why? Oh, because he's 11 years old. He's flown a lot now.
Well, because, one of the things that they do, and, I'm in Phoenix, you're in Phoenix, and most airports do this, is they have a pretty comprehensive program to get people over a fear of flying, meaning they show them airplanes, they have simulators, they talk to pilots, and to really get them over that hump so that this way that they're not afraid. I have a friend of mine who well, he's now 40. And really, up until the point where he was like 35, he did not want to get on a plane. I mean, how limiting is that? I mean, he would have to drive cross country. Mm-hmm. So I was telling him about this program at Sky Harbor, and he went through it, and now he's flying. Now you can't get him off a plane. You know, it's like, what? So you just
how do you get hold of the information for that?
You know, I would just call the public information office at Sky Harbor Airport and just say, you know, I've got an 11-year-old that's afraid to fly. What kind of programs do you have at the airport where I can bring him down and have him meet a pilot and, you know, talk to, you know, some folks. Most of them are retired that work these programs, but hey, that's okay. It's all good because we got to get them over that. Now, as far as an 11-year-old with an iPad, there are so many great things that you can do. There's full parental controls that you can put on this iPad. So you can set screen time. You can set restrictions for TV shows, movies, apps, disable in-app purchases. We'll send you some links to this, as well as you have content restrictions too. So, of course, we don't want him to head over to any adult websites while he's doing this. Now, since he's going to be on a plane, and unless you want to pay, you know, $15-20 every time he gets on the plane to get Wi-Fi, is that you're going to be downloading shows for him to watch either from YouTube or Apple TV Plus, Netflix, Disney, you name it. And then you can also load it. You can also load it up with some educational apps too. Find out who his favorite characters are, and then see if there are any apps along the way. Like, of course, I'm sure he plays Minecraft and Roblox.
Nope, I don't think so.
He doesn't?
They are restricted from watching videos. They're trying to keep them away from that.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that's going to, you know what? Then you're going to want more apps that will maybe not let him play games or watch videos as much as something that's going to spark some creativity.
Right. That'd be good.
So maybe some where he can draw and maybe some puzzle games. I mean, I don't know what he's into, you know, so, but you could just search the App Store with that. But just setting up the basic parental controls is the place for you to start. And so what we'll do is I'll send you over some steps for at least to get you started. And then if you need any help afterwards, Nancy, I'm here for you. And again, check out that program at the airport. I bet you that's really going to help the little guy. And thanks for your call today. Yep, it's another scam. Ed in Springfield, Missouri. Happy to have you with us.
Glad to be here. And thank you for all the tips you give us.
You betcha. What's going on?
Well, you wrote about that program where people, companies send us lousy stuff in the mail. And, well, what I do is I give them good review. Well, sorta. I mean, I like to have fun with those other idiots. And for about 5 weeks, I was getting stuff, mainly women's clothes. I called the U.S. Post Office about it and found out that if I didn't order it fraudulently, that if they just sent it to me, that I could keep it like I really wanted to. And I'm a straight male, and I wanted to stop since it was mostly women's clothes, and I don't cross-dress. And there was phony reviews for this stuff on Amazon, and I got those taken down, and then I put my fun ones on. The first item was what I would call Daisy Duke shorts, you know, that really... And
Ed, I know you look hot in Daisy Duke shorts. Who are you kidding?
Oh, I know it. I mean, I've got the package to show it. And I was thinking about how I could do a really good review on them. So I said that I was walking outside and such, and that the inside seam busted out and was left hanging all out. And I also mentioned that quality was poor. I mentioned repeatedly that quality was poor with all of the items. They had ripped seams, busted zippers, and more. I mentioned that some of the stuff that ripped was like 2 sizes larger than I normally wore, and they sent me this bra.
So the whole goal is so that they stop sending you, because this is a brushing scam, and so these companies mail you a whole bunch of junk, whatever it may be, and so that this way you hop online and you can leave a great review because you're a verified buyer, and that's an interesting. It's an interesting tactic, Ed. It's an interesting way for you to deal with this is to leave some very artistic reviews. I think that's what we're going to say. Brushing scams. Oh boy. Hey, listen, they are spreading. And so if by chance you happen to get some free stuff in the mail, just know that they're really sending you this so that this way you can leave some type of review. Not the review that you're leaving, Edwin. They're probably hoping for something a little bit better than that. But yes, as you said, with the post office, you get to keep what you didn't order, but shows up at your doorstep as an order from Amazon. Still to come, a letter from our listener, Mal. Phil wants to know if he's in trouble, and I think he is. You're on the Kim Komando Show. Are you tired of dealing with annoying passwords? Let me tell you, NordPass ends the madness for good. You can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. NordPass remembers and autofills them for you. It's only $1.23 a month. Your sanity is worth it. Go to nordpass.com/Kim to get my exclusive deal for you. Just $1.23 per month at nordpass.com/Kim. All right, Phil writes, hey, Kim, ethical and legal aspects aside, is it technically possible for a supervisor to invisibly join and monitor meetings in MS Teams? Okay. All right, Phil, what'd you say? Yep, you're in trouble. You're screwed. Everything that you put in a Microsoft Teams session, I bet you the boss has a complete copy of it. Something to always remember, folks. Whatever you put online can always come back to haunt you. Hey, you can always find me 24/7 over at my website. That's komando.com.
Here's hour 3.
I want you to think about what you can't find for sale on Amazon. What's something that you went on Amazon to buy and you're like, they don't have that. Okay, well, here's one that's going to up the ante. You can now buy a car on Amazon. What? Yes. Amazon now sells cars in 48 cities. It's limited to the brand new Hyundai, but more brands, and they say leasing options are coming to Amazon Autos. That's a good name for it. The price at checkout is what you're actually going to pay, so no back and forth with sales folks. But my advice, your PSA for the day, do not drunk shop or sleep shop on Amazon, because let me tell you, it could end up, are you ready for it? Really, really bad. Oh, yeah, I heard that groan. Hey, get set. We're going to dive into all things digital because it's my job as America's beloved digital goddess to make sure that you are always tech ahead and never left tech behind, because let me tell you, man, more than ever, every single thing, isn't it, is just a tech thing. Because after all, I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. We appreciate you being here, and you can find the show on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. We're streaming in your favorite radio app, and you can also find me as a podcast. That's right, in your favorite podcast player. Just search for Komando with a K. And a big hello goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women. We love you guys and gals, and thank you for your support and service to our country. And great sponsors help to make this show possible. If you ever need an address or something that I'm talking about, head over to komando.com/sponsors. And doesn't it seem the older that you get, the more savvier you become at saving money? I really hate to overspend on things, especially the necessities. But thanks to T-Mobile, I don't have to worry about overpaying for wireless service, so I've got more time and money to spend on other things. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a month per line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, Scam Shield Premium is included, which means fewer scam calls and more tools to help you optimize and organize your mobile life. Experience all this and more with T-Mobile. It's America's largest 5G network. And don't miss out. You can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for $30 a month per line at T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 or just drop by your local store to make the switch and save today.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees. 25% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details. Capable device required for Scam Shield. Turning on Scam Block. Might block calls you want. Disable anytime.
And I'd also like to thank Raycon. This holiday season, surprise everyone on your nice list with Raycon's everyday earbuds. Their latest model comes with active noise cancellation and starts at just half the price of other premium audio brands. And right now, get up to 25% off at buyraycon.com/Kim. That's buyraycon.com/Kim. All right, every single day, I am just reading anything that I can, talking to folks in the industry, and, just making sure that I am always tech ahead, like I've mentioned before, because that's really important. So here are 5 things that you need to know that's happening right now. And we're going to start with TV maker TCL. They just debuted 5 fully AI-generated movies at the former Man Chinese Theater that's now called the TCL because they bought the naming rights. Now, it's an AI-created rom-com, sci-fi adventure, documentary, superhero film, and a movie about a woman who turns into a slug. I'm not sure that's a storyline that I'm actually going to follow, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is that it's all AI generated. They cranked it all out in just 12 weeks. Okay. Think about that if you're an actor or you're a wannabe. Oh, man. So TCL is going to stream all these movies, free if you have a TCL set, of course. But it's something to consider that if you are an actor or a wannabe, you have somebody in your family, AI is going to make it really, really tough to find a gig. Speaking of AI, let's move to number 2. You're looking for an apartment and you see like a 2-bedroom listed for $3,000. You're like, oh my gosh, that is so expensive. And then everywhere you look, the prices are about the same. Well, what's going on? Landlords are using software to set rent prices called RealPage. It collects data across different landlords, like the rent that the tenants are actually paying, the terms, the occupancy rates, and then it puts it all together in these algorithms, say, okay, this is what you really need to charge for the rent. What's happening is that the rents are going up and people are freaking out. And so now some cities like San Francisco, they're saying, we're not going to let you use AI-based rent setting software. And now other cities are following suit. So if you're thinking like the rents has suddenly gone up, it's not you, it's AI. Moving on to number 3, let's say you're a teacher and you're planning an algebra lesson. Okay, normally you spend hours and hours, figuring out what exactly you're going to do and say and how you're going to present it in the quizzes and the test afterwards. But now you can just type into AI, create a lesson on equations, and in seconds it's done. The Khan Academy, they've come out with something called Khanmigo, which is a new AI tool. It's being tested in almost 300 school districts right now. And it's going to change how we teach and how kids learn. It's built on OpenAI's tech. And so say a 7th grader is struggling with fractions, they can just type in the problem, and Khanmigo is going to walk them through it step by step as they are moving along. It even flags AI-generated info from assignments. It checks for errors. It creates lesson plan instantly. It answers students' questions. Here, take a listen.
The formula is simple. 1/2 times the base times the height.
Okay, that doesn't sound like it's anything unique until you pair it with the fact that AI is going step by step based on a person, not just a generic video where everybody has to watch it. Because if that kid were to say, I don't get it, AI would say, okay, let me do it a little bit slower. Okay. Wow. Think about those changes. Moving on to number 4, if you see an electric scooter just zoom by faster than these things should actually go, it may have been modded. What? Yes, modders are getting around scooters' built-in speed limits. How? They're downloading apps on Android to boost the scooter's speeds. One 17-year-old told the Wall Street Journal that he pushes his to go as fast as possible. On a scooter, the 17-year-old kid goes 40 miles per hour. Whoa. He says he loves the danger and he feels free. Okay. He even got into an accident where he was thrown to the pavement, no helmet. He hobbled away but he still rides. Of course, he's 17. He thinks he's invincible. Now, if you've listened to my show, you know how many electric scooter explosions there have been recently. People have died. New York is about to put in place a new ban for the sale of the ones that have not been tested. So if you think you really need to go fast on a scooter, maybe you just need to get a car. And finally, this coming in at number 5, if you committed a crime, could you completely change your face with plastic surgery to become a new person and get away with it? The answer is nope, ain't gonna happen because of your eyes. Like your thumbs and your fingers, you have what's called an eye print. The shape of your eyes is totally unique to you. And facial recognition systems that are now also using artificial intelligence can pick all this up so quickly. So we are way past just fingerprints and biometric data. And I know what you're thinking. That new iPhone has facial recognition, Kim. It looks at my face and it says, nice, but you can't afford it. Hey, listen, are you tired of dealing with annoying passwords? Every account needs a different one, an uppercase, a lowercase, a symbol, 12 or more characters. So annoying and so frustrating because then you forget your password, then you do the password reset, and it's like, oh, you need to know your security question. NordPass ends the madness for good. You can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. NordPass remembers and autofills them for you. And you're just going to love this. Just go to a site. Instead of you trying to remember a password, NordPass steps in like magic and autofills all your passwords. You're like, thank you, NordPass. And when you're buying something, it autofills your credit card, your billing, your shipping details too. Now, NordPass uses the strongest military-grade encryption. It offers email masking, password sharing, and even a solution for businesses. Now, I negotiated a special deal for you. Just go to nordpass.com/Kim, and you're going to get 58% off. That's nordpass.com/Kim. Alrighty, then, as you know, every Kim Komando show is just jam-packed, and this one is no exception. We're going to talk about translations for foreign languages, tech that's saving lives. We have a caller question about breakup and technology and what's going on with that if somebody moves out and how you can protect yourself. And, of course, we have just the best callers in the history of talk radio, and you have me, Kim Komando. How'd you like $500 to buy anything that you want on Amazon? I can give you that if you win. You have to go to winfromkim.com. That's where I'm giving away a $500 Amazon.com gift card. No purchase required, by the way. That's winfromkim.com. All right, how about we start with Jerry in Washington, D.C. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Kim. Okay, so I live in a house that is 90 years old and has plaster walls. And for people listening, or maybe you who don't know about plaster walls have a wire mesh inside there, which blocks Wi-Fi.
Of course it does.
So I also need a new router anyway. And I have, just to throw a monkey wrench into the mix, my grandmother passed away from Alzheimer's, and my mother died of Alzheimer's just this year, and I'm really paranoid about all of the radio waves and all the stuff floating around with Wi-Fi. But I just got to have it. So if you can imagine, my house is shaped like an L, and the router comes in, which is hardwired to my computer. The router comes in at the top of the L, and we can sort of get Wi-Fi in the next room over, but that's it. So I need to know what to do.
When you're talking about plaster walls and wire meshes, basically you have what you said is a modern day Faraday cage. Okay. And so it's going to block any type of signal that goes in there. You can try every option that you would like, meaning you can try repeaters. That's not going to work. Okay. You can try another router, bigger router, better router. That's not going to work. Okay.
Right.
And then you can have every AV guy or gal across the country say, oh, well, I've got another idea. And we have what's called power line adapters. So you're going to use your power lines for your internet. That kind of works.
Okay.
But if you're really looking for like the best solution is that you're going to have to run some cables in the back of the house. And I know that's not fun, especially through these walls. Or you can maybe put them in the crown molding. I've done that at an older house that I had once, is that I kind of, up in the corner, like with the white crown molding, is that you put a cord up on the top. Nobody hardly sees it because, nobody looks up.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're looking at what's called, an Ethernet backhaul. Then it gets kind of complicated, but it's not. But when you start looking at what type of router system that you want to look at, there are only a few. Eero is EERO, and you're going to look at a mesh network. Not to be confused with the mesh in your house, okay?
Right.
Or Orbi, ORBI. And, basically you buy them for the size of your house and give you the router itself and a few extenders. But just keep in mind that you may need to run some cable way in the back. Now, let's talk about the Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Have you gotten a DNA test?
I have not, and I've seriously considered it.
That's what you need to do. You need to get a DNA test to see if you have the mutation that may cause this. My mom died a couple years ago, pancreatic cancer. And I'm a member of the Mayo Clinic. And so I get this thing in my email, and it says, hey, we'd like to test your DNA for cancer. So I kind of put it off to the side. So Thanksgiving Day of last year, I get the notification that says, do you want to fill it out? And I'm like, might as well take the swab, said a little prayer, and put it in the mail the next day. So New Year's Day last year, Jerry, New Year's Day, I'm checking my email, 8 o'clock in the morning. And you know what pops up? We have your results.
And it was negative.
It was negative, but I want you to, this is how they did it to me, and I want you not to be Freaky Friday like I did, okay? I hit the link to go to the Mayo Clinic, and it says, do you need to speak to a counselor right now? We have counselors 24/7 on duty. Okay. I'm like, oh, crap, I got it. And then I click the page again, Jerry, and it says, are you sure you don't need to talk to a counselor? And by then, I'm sweating. Third time, Jerry, are you sure you don't need to talk to a counselor? I'm like, I don't need to talk to a counselor. And then it comes up and it says, oh, everything's fine, honky-dory. By the way, you have a propensity, you shouldn't drink too much caffeine. You like spicy foods and your eyes are blue. I'm like, new with that. Okay.
Wow.
So bottom line here is go get the test.
Okay.
And it's going to make you feel, if you have it, you can prepare for it. Yeah, those DNA tests are pretty spectacular. They really are. So again, if you're sitting there on the fence, just do it. But again, if they start saying, do you need a counselor? Just know it's like, I was like, and I actually told my Mayo doctor when I saw her, I'm like, you people need to change that. You just need to change that. And David in Nashville, Tennessee, you're up next.
Hi, Kim.
What's going on?
Well, I received a notification in my Weather Channel app that wanted me to access my biometric data on my Apple Health. They claimed they wanted to access the barometer on my phone to improve accuracy. I thought that was just somebody wanting to be nosy, and I declined it. I thought I'd ask you because you're the pro on this.
Well, a barometer has been included on your iPhone since iPhone 6 back in 2014. And basically what it does is, of course, as you know, it measures atmospheric pressure, which can help improve weather forecasts. So it is a piece of hardware that's in the phone. And so what the weather app is saying is like, okay, we need access to the Apple Health app for the barometer data. It does seem unusual, but actually it's something that they're using to maybe improve weather forecasting in your particular area. Because think about this. If they can get barometric pressure from you there in Nashville, Tennessee, and they can get barometric pressure from somebody who's, say, 2 miles away, or then somebody, again, who's 15 miles away and 20 miles away, you can kind of get an idea that there would be the ability to do some forecasting. Now, of course, you can always turn that off. You just get inside your Apple settings and Apple Watch settings and turn off the ability for any app, if you wanted to, your health app, to not pull that barometric data. And that's the thing is that, we have so many different sensors on us right now. We have GPS sensors, accelerometers that will track how fast or how slow we're walking, gyroscopes, light sensors, you name it. And so every once in a while, it's a good idea for you to just get into your apps and look at permission settings because you can always just say no. If it doesn't work right, then maybe you start thinking about it and you turn that back on. Thank you for your call today, sir. I appreciate it. All right, let's switch gears. We're not getting any younger, but you can bring back your natural radiance with Native Path Collagen. It's scientifically backed to increase bone mineral density, support tissue recovery, reduce wrinkles, enhance hair thickness, and strengthen weak or damaged nails. Let me tell you, I've been taking collagen for years. You can get 40% off right now and free shipping by going to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. All right, let me tell you about Jim. He went up on a ladder to get rid of the pigeons at the top of a grain bed. A strong gust of wind knocked the ladder over. Jim fell 20 feet to the ground and couldn't move. But Jim was wearing an Apple Watch. You see, when an Apple Watch detects a fall, you have to select one of two options. 1, call emergency SOS, or 2, I'm okay. But what if the person isn't moving at all? The Apple Watch will wait 1 minute and then start a 30-second countdown before calling 911. And if you're looking for the best Apple Watch for you to buy, look no further than heading to Komando.com. Hit that shopping section. Once again, that's Komando.com and the shopping section. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls you can't afford to miss ever here on the Kim Komando Show. So here's what happens when you're living with someone and the relationship goes sour. There are certain pieces of technology that y'all shared in that house that need to be taken care of. And that's a question from a listener that I'm going to be answering here on the show in just a few minutes. And of course, we've got other calls to get to. But before we do that, let's talk about vinyl records. Boy, they are just booming. 43 million vinyl records were sold last year. But what if you have all these vinyl records and you're like, I want to take my tunes with me? So what's the easiest way to convert vinyl into digital files? It's a lot easier than you think. You can pick up a USB-based turntable with a built-in preamp. Audio-Technica and Sony, they make good ones. You just connect the turntable to your computer's USB port and then use Audacity, which is a free audio software program so fabulous. We use it here in the studios. You select the turntable as the input source for the recording, and then, of course, you want to clean the vinyl, make sure you don't have any dust on there. And then you can create separate tracks. And here's the big secret, okay, is that on YouTube Music, you can store 100,000 songs for free at YouTube Music. And then once you do all that, you can have the YouTube Music app on your device. You can play your vinyl that way. You can set up playlists, really sweet. And then maybe this way you can get rid of like paying for a music service streaming, subscription plan, because everywhere you turn, there's some other subscription. If you need those tips, by the way, just head over to the website, Komando.com, and just search for, turn vinyl into digital files. All right, let's see. Jared in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Glad to have you with us.
Hey, how's it going, Kim?
Wonderful. What's going on?
Well, long-time listener, first-time caller, and I have to say I do love your emails. They are what keeps me going.
Yes, that's so great. Because you know what? Let me tell you, Jared, this is one of these things in life, because I'm sure you've had them too, where you're like, I'm going to try something new, and I have a feeling it's going to be super successful, and I'm going to cross my fingers and my toes and it'll be successful. And then when it is, you're like, see, told you. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
In fact, I'm a financial planner, and I use a lot of the AI tools that you have now and stuff that comes out in your newsletters for presentations or anything along those lines. Definitely make me sound better, too, when I write.
Well, and also the presentations look pretty darn good. It's like...
Oh, they do.
Man,
they do.
I mean, you used to have to hire a graphic artist to make yourself look that good. Now you're just like in Canva, like boom, boom, boom.
Yep, you got it. Hey, that brings me to my question. For clients, we usually have them fill out like an Excel spreadsheet of their budget, and then they go through it, and it's complicated. Sometimes we get it back, sometimes we don't. And I didn't know if there's a free AI tool where clients can, link their bank account or something along those lines where they can throw in their budget and it will spit out kind of already categories and maybe summarize it and show their trends.
There is kind of almost maybe something like that, but not to the extent with you being a financial planner where it's going to make it smooth as silk. Now, which with your credit card, you can get a full report at the end of the year, right? That says you spent X, Y, or Z. We do have a sponsor. I don't know if you've ever looked at it. It's called Rocket Money. And Rocket Money, a lot of people, I'm telling you, Jared, people get Freaky Friday about this because when you install the app, it comes in and says, okay, we need access to your credit cards. Then it says, okay, we need access to your bank account. And you're like, oh, is this safe? Is this something that is a good idea? Or am I going to be wiped out by some hacker at 2:00 in the morning and not even realize it? Okay. Rocket Money is owned by Rocket, the whole big company there. And what it does do is that you can log in once you connect everything, and it will tell you like how much you spent on water and streaming services. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. And so, there's those tools, but I think if you want to have somebody come in and analyze where they are today and where they're spending money, because they probably don't realize it,
and that's the key. I want them to realize it, not necessarily me to go through it. It's not my job to go through their budgets for them. So
you know what? I would tell them to tap into Rocket Money because it is safe, and they are a sponsor, just to let everybody know. Full disclosure, but I used them before they were a sponsor, and they also will help you like renegotiate things. And so, like, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I had 2 New York Times subscriptions.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like, how did that happen? Why am I paying twice? And because I had one.
We had that for Sirius Radio.
Oh,
I
you
had
did?
one, and my wife had one, and I'm like, well, we actually can use each other's.
Yes, it is.
So,
You know what it is? I think it's that it's become such a like this micro economy, and that we, it's $1 here, it's $12 a month here, it's $5 here, and then I don't think we all realize, how much we're truly spending until it's put in front of us, just totally black and white, and that's what a program like. You need a budget or personal capital or Rocket Money, and that's what they do. Jared, thanks for your call today. Thanks for your kind words about the newsletter. Really appreciate that. All right, let's talk about your home safety. Amid holiday prep and gifts arriving on your doorsteps, keeping your home and family safe has never been more crucial. Why? Because FBI data shows that the holidays see a sharp rise in burglaries and theft. And right now, you can save 50% on a brand new Simply Safe system. Now, unlike traditional security systems that only kick in after someone is already inside your home, with Simply Safe Active Guard outdoor protection, monitoring agents can prevent crime before it starts, seeing and speaking to suspicious individuals in real time, and requesting 911 dispatch even before they reach your front door. With no long-term contracts and professional monitoring plans, they start at just around $1 a day. It's no wonder that Simply Safe was named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News & World Report for 5 years running. Here's what you need to do. Go to simplysafekim.com to save 50% on your new system with a select professional monitoring plan. That's simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe. All right, if you're going to be traveling or if you ever need to speak with someone who doesn't speak your language, there's some really terrific tech out there that can give you real-time translations. And this is really fabulous if you're going to be going to a foreign country and you want to maybe speak to the locals. I found myself using Google Translate when I was in Tokyo, 6-7 months ago, and it works flawlessly. It's just amazing. First of all, you download the free Google Translate app, which is both, of course, on iPhone and Android. And then once you have that, you're going to hit the conversation button. You'll see 2 mics for different languages. Tap the mic for your language, say something, and then Google Translate will instantly repeat it in the other language. Then you flip it around. The other person speaks, and the app translates it right back to you. Right now, it can handle so many different languages. I think you're going to be hard-pressed not to find the language that you want. But like I mentioned, when I was in Tokyo and I had a guide who didn't speak much English, and I wanted to go to Nara in order to see the bowing deer, I was trying to explain it to him until finally I did this in Google Translate, and it was like, yes, so fabulous. So if you're going to be traveling around, it's free. You ought to check it out. All right, let's see. We have more of your phone calls coming up here on the Kim Komando Show. With holiday travel and frantic online shopping, it's easier than ever for hackers to hijack your connection and steal credit card numbers and banking passwords. That's why I use ExpressVPN. It's an easy-to-use app that encrypts and reroutes my online traffic through secure servers. And right now, you can get 3 extra months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. Let's see, Teresa in Lincoln, Nebraska. Hello there.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on?
My question is, I am wondering, how do I find out if any of my information is on the dark web and how to remove it?
Well, Teresa, I will say with all certainty that there is some piece of your personal information available for sale right now on the dark web. Because there's my information on the dark web. There's everybody who you know has information on the dark web. And so the question is, can you remove it off the dark web? No, you can't. You can find out if it is on the dark web. There's a website called haveibeenpwned.com. Basically, it's just going to tell you that you're going to put in some email addresses. It's going to tell you whether or not that email address and some passwords are for sale. But with all the different data breaches, doesn't it seem like every other day there's a different data breach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, and where does all that data go? It goes for sale on the dark web. And it's what do they want to buy? Well, they buy your name, of course, your address, any type of information about you, where you work, how much money you make, your date of birth, medical ID, social security number. It goes on and on and on. And so the whole idea is that people can buy all this information, then they can impersonate you, and then they can steal from you and your credit card details and all that other stuff. So that's why, is it possible for you to go on the dark web and see everything and then remove it? The answer is unfortunately no. Certain services like keepersecurity.com, which is the password manager that is a sponsor of the show I recommend, they will actually alert you if your password's for sale on the dark web. So, so this way to change it. And it will also change your password for you automatically. A lot of browsers will alert you to that too. But it really comes into protecting your personal information more so than how to remove myself off the dark web. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does.
Okay. And so how do you do that? Well, we don't use the same password every single place, right? If we go places and they ask for our social security number, you say, why do you really need that? You take your kid to the doctor, the pediatrician wants your social or the kid's social, and you're like, I don't know why you need that. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, well, you know what? If you don't want to give it, don't give it to us. Monitor all your credit cards and, put on those alerts on your bank so that if you get an automatic deposit of $1 or 10 cents, that you get an alert. If there's a charge over $50, you get an alert. If there's a charge on your credit card and that you were not there with the credit card or it's over $500, you get an alert. So, and it's being conscious. Don't use the debit card at all if you can avoid it. Just get rid of a debit card because that's how they just wipe out all your savings. So it's really becoming more of a consumer conscious. Freeze your credit. Do you know how to do that?
No.
Okay. So there are so many tips on my site on how to freeze your credit. That's really most important. So that if somebody tries to get credit in your name, that they're denied unless you open up your credit for that particular transaction or that particular inquiry. So do you get our free newsletter?
Yes, I do.
Do you love it?
I do love it.
Oh, yes. Love that. Another satisfied customer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some links over the next couple of days about how you can freeze your credit, because that's really what the answer is, and to be just a really conscious digital life consumer nowadays. But again, if you want to see if your email address and passwords are on the dark web, you can go to haveibeenpwned.com. Once again, that's haveibeenpwned.com. And let's move over to Waco, Texas. Hi, John.
Hi, Kim.
Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. I've been listening to your show on 12:30 a.m. for years, and it's just great that I can now hear it on your podcast and on YouTube. So Thank you so much for all the information you give us.
You betcha. What's going on?
Well, I'm a lawyer and I'm a mediator, and I take a lot of notes on old legal pads, and we're trying to go digital. And I've been looking at different products like the Remarkable 2 or the Remarkable Pro or the Kindle Scribe, and I'm trying to figure out the right medium for me that can also keep things confidential, because these are clients and confidential communications that I'm writing down.
Well, I'll tell you, I tried the Remarkable. And the reason why is that if you and I were ever sitting in a meeting, I actually take handwritten notes. I mean, you'd be sitting there like, okay, wait a minute, Kim, you're like the digital goddess. You're supposed to be like doing everything like on your phone. No, I actually take handwritten notes, and I put things on a paper-based calendar. I have an electronic calendar, don't get me wrong, but so I tried the Remarkable 2, by the way, and it really wasn't for me, okay? Because I thought I could take notes and I could save them as PDFs and all this other stuff. So what happens is that if you're married to me, John, is that I buy all this tech, and then it like after like 2 or 3 weeks, it goes off to the side if I don't really use it. And then that's when various people pick things up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because the Remarkable is expensive. I think I ended up spending with the leather case like $800 for this thing.
That's what they're going for.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. My memory serves me correctly then.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I gave it to my husband. He took it. He serves as, he does a lot of the contracts for us, handles a lot of the legal issues. He's also writing a Christmas movie.
Wow.
And he produces the Mannheim Steamroller Christmas show. I mean, so he's got a lot of things going on. All right.
Yeah, he does.
So I gave it to him. Loves it. Loves it. Takes handwritten notes, saves them as PDFs, sends them to me, whatever it may be. The Remarkable Pro 2 is a standout because it's color. It's pretty. And it also can, drop anything that you want into Google Drive or Dropbox. And it does feel like you're writing on paper, by the way.
And that's what I really want the feel, because I've tried it on an iPad and it just doesn't work for me.
The Remarkable Pro 2, I think, is going to be better for you. The Kindle Scribe, it's smaller, it's monochrome. It's not going to have that texture feel that I think you're looking for that the Remarkable does. I wouldn't go with the 2. Just if you're going to do it, just go the Pro 2. Okay. With the Remarkable Pro 2 is like you're not in a Ferrari, but you're in a solid. You're in either a good Porsche Carrera. You're not in a 911 Turbo S. No. But you're in a Mercedes. I'd say a Mercedes.
Or maybe a Lexus?
Maybe a good Lexus. Definitely not in the Mercedes electric car, because that thing is bombing. Don't buy one. So many people they're like, oh, I got a great deal on it. A friend of mine called me up and got a great deal on the Mercedes EV. I'm like, yeah, that's because nobody wants them. I'm just saying. It's ugly. Okay. So anyway, here and we're there. Get yourself the Remarkable Pro 2. I know it's an expense. You can write it off, but you're going to love it. You will. And thanks for your call today, John. Hey, if you're ever too shy to give me a call here on a big time show and podcast, it's okay. I get it, but I still like to help you out. The best way for you to give me your question is go to the place where you are guaranteed that I read every single note. That's komando.com, Komando, komando.com. And then there's a link in the upper right-hand corner that says Ask Kim. Once again, Ask Kim over at komando.com. I know you like to leave them all over social media. Oh, so overwhelming. If you want me to truly see it, this is the best place, komando.com and Ask Kim. And speaking of asking, we have a letter from our listener mail I'm going to be answering here on the show. You don't want to miss it. Phishing scams are the most reported cybercrime in the United States. That's why I use Total AV, award-winning antivirus protection. Go to protectwithkim.com for just $19 for the first year protection. That's up to 5 devices, by the way. That's protectwithkim.com. All right. Hannah in Austin, Texas writes, hello, Kim. I broke up with my boyfriend. He had sex with my best friend in my car. I bet he had cameras in our house that we used to share. How do I find them? All right, this is a tough one. Your first step is at the router. Okay, you can look at any type of connected devices and MAC addresses, and you can kind of match to see what's there. But speaking of the router, any time that you break up with somebody, whether it's a roommate, a husband, wife's partner, you name it, is that I want you to go directly to the router and reset that password. That's your first step. Router, password, reset. Hey, thanks for joining me, and don't forget, you can always find me at Komando.com.
Thanks for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 4.
I don't know. It really doesn't matter to me. But to Gen Zer, it's a completely different story. Okay, what am I talking about? So you're sitting there on your phone and you get a text that says, call me. All right. If you're like me, you're like, okay, well, it's probably easier for us to talk than for us to go back and forth and 10 or 15 different text messages. Well, with Gen Z, it's totally different, especially if you add a period, because that just freaks them all out. When you say call me, the first thought that comes into a Gen Zer's head is, oh my gosh, there's an emergency. So you just want to keep that in mind. If you are ever texting a Gen Z and you say, call me, you might just want to put like a little happy face after it. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's America's largest show about all things digital. I'm, of course, America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And let me tell you, you have just tapped into a fountain of knowledge, because if you are not tech ahead, you will be left tech behind in the digital dust. Now, you can find my show on over 420 top stations throughout the United States. And of course, I'm streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And this is big news. You can also get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, commercial free, just search for my last name, Komando. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members, serving in 175 different countries. And I just love this. Over 200 ships at sea get the Kim Komando Show. Now, during the show, I always give out some URLs and some promo codes. And if you're sitting there saying like, hey, how do I get that deal, Kim Komando? It's super easy. Just go to komando.com/sponsors. And I know that you have a slew of questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And I know you can always go to ChatGPT and you can always Google something. But when you want trusted advice, that's why I'm here. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is at 1-888-825-5254. You know, T-Mobile's advanced 5G network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. And I'd like to thank Incogni for helping to make this show possible. You know, during the holidays, when there's just so much to do, or moving so quickly to get it all done, it's super easy to make a mistake and just hand over your personal data without even realizing it. That's why it's important to visit privacykim.com for my deal with Incogni to remove yourself from the internet. Now, here's the deal. Get 60% off right now at privacykim.com. Once again, that's privacykim.com. You know, every single day, rain or shine, weekday, weekends, national holidays or not, I dive into at least 35 different sources to make sure that we are both up to date on what's happening in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things that you need to know about right now. And first of all, we're going to Chicago. It's a story about a man by the name of Cullen Brown. Okay, just days away from buying his first home. You remember that, so excited, his dream house. And an email comes in with all the wiring instructions for his down payment. It looks good. It has his name, his email address, his physical address, and the exact amount that he owes, $60,000. So he sends off the 60 grand, poof, it's gone. And the FBI calls this the BEC, a business email compromise scam. That's when these hackers get into emails pretending to be a title company and they trick you into sending some money. And it's getting worse. Last year, folks lost over $2.9 billion to this type of fraud. Now, Cullen was lucky. That's why I wanted to bring this up. There's actually a fraud recovery service called Certify ID that helped him get most of his money back within a week by working with the banks to trace everything down. But not everyone is so lucky. So bottom line here, before you transfer any money, before you do that, make sure that you always make sure that it's legit, totally legit. I mean, call the title company, verify all the numbers with the bank. You get the drill. All right, moving on to number 2, another Chinese-based app. Yes, so popular. It's called Newsbreak. Let's see, in Google Play, it has a 4.6 rating, and it has 554,000 positive reviews. Okay. Apple, a 5.8 star rating, reviews almost 1.2 million. But here's the thing that I want you to know, that everything that you do in this app is being tied back to where? Communist China. Talking about all your texts, your photos, you name it. And last Christmas Eve, Newsbreak, which, by the way, is the most downloaded news app in the United States, they published a story about a small-town shooting called Christmas Day Tragedy Strikes Bridgeton, New Jersey, amid rising gun violence in small towns. Okay, there was no shooting. Okay, it doesn't happen. So stealing your data is a real possibility. Spreading mass panic is another. So my advice, if you have Newsbreak on your device, just go ahead and remove it like today. Moving on to fitness watches. Yes, 1 in every 5 Americans use and wear some sort of fitness tracker. I'm talking about smartwatches. You know what they do. Everything. They track your heart rate, your respiration, how many steps you're taking. And that's about 20% of all Americans. And that's enough for me to warn you about what you might be giving up in the way of data. You see, this global fitness tracker market is now valued at $53 billion a year. I know, it's like so much money. That's why big companies like Samsung, Garmin, Fitbit, Google, and Apple, and others, they all sell them. But that's not all that they sell. You have to remember this. All these devices collect enough data to paint this really accurate picture of your health and well-being. And guess what? Yes, you know, that's all for sale too. To who, right? Health insurance companies, who else? Anybody else who's just willing to pay. So this Christmas, if you are tempted to give a fitness watch, you just want to keep that in mind. Moving on to number 4, here in Phoenix, Arizona, and other places, there are all these Google Waymo self-driving cars just all over. And they used to have a competitor. Notice past tense? Yes, the Cruise Robotaxi project from General Motors. After wasting $10 billion on this Cruise project, by the way, they lost $3.5 billion last year alone. They said, maybe this isn't such a good idea for us. Maybe we need to move on. As investors love the news, shares actually went up 3.2%. The company was fined $500,000 last month alone for lying to the feds over a crash that happened last year. Okay. This is like just one of the many reasons that you're not going to see me ever get into a Waymo robo-taxi, at least in the near future. And finally, this coming in at number 5. Do you remember floppy disks? Yes, and floppy disk drives. Now, for most millennials, and I would say all Gen Zers and Gen Alphas, floppy disk is just a mystery. Now, believe it or not, they're still being used in so many different places. Now, let's go back in time in history. The original floppy disk was this large 8-inch square disk, and it held only 8 kilobytes of memory. Wait, let me do that again. It held only 80 kilobytes of memory. Next came the 5.25-inch disk holding 360 kilobytes, and then the 3.5 disk. Wow, this is great, 1.44 megabytes. Now, only one company in the world sells them, and they're going to run out of inventory in just a few years. So who uses them? Well, many of our commercial airliners, older Boeing 737s, 747s, 767s, Air 320 Airbuses. There's BART, of course, the San Francisco subway system, and they're spending millions to update it. So up until just a few years ago, this is astounding to me. 5-inch floppies were still being used to program targets into our ICBM nuclear weapons. Wow. Hey, it's on that floppy disk over there. The password's 00000000. That was also in the news this past week. I'm like, what the heck? Hey, listen, are you tired of dealing with annoying passwords? I know I am. Every account needs a different one. Uppercase, lowercase, symbols, haiku, whatever it may be, gang symbols, 12 or more characters. That's why you need NordPass. NordPass remembers and autofills your passwords for you, and you're going to love this. You can also go to a site instead of trying to remember your passwords, it just steps in like magic and autofills everything. Now, because you're a Kim Komando Show listener, of course, there's an exclusive deal. You can save 58% off right now today, just $1.23 a month for the password manager that I use and recommend. Go to nordpass.com/Kim. That's nordpass.com/Kim. All right, coming up, we have some incredible tips that you're not going to want to miss, like some online shopping secrets to save you big bucks. Also, speaking of money, how to save money on an Uber. Wow, I spent so much on an Uber this past week. How to change settings to boost your TV speed and why you shouldn't smile on passports. And of course, we have just the most amazing phone calls ever here on the Kim Komando Show. Here's where you need to go, winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. And that's where you can enter to win a $500 Amazon gift card. No purchase required. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Let's start with Stephen in Fairfax, Virginia. Hi there, Stephen.
Hey, Kim. How are you doing today?
Great. What's going on?
Good. I was just wondering, I keep seeing all these ads for these hidden camera detectors. And I'm wondering, one, are you familiar with them? Do they actually work, and is there that much of a need for one? I have a daughter who travels and stays in hotels, and my wife as well.
Yeah, it's a big concern, isn't it? I mean, especially when you start looking at any type like a Vrbo or Airbnb.
Right.
Because I will tell you that years ago, I checked into an Airbnb and there were 12 cameras. I was like, what is this going on?
No way.
Yeah. And most recently, one of the gals that works here, Maddie, she's fabulous. And she and her boyfriend checked into I think it was an Airbnb in Laurel Canyon outside of Los Angeles. And she said she just got kind of like this creepy feeling when she walked into the primary bedroom and she looked up and then there were 2 smoke detectors right above the bed. And of course, one of the smoke detectors, as you can tell we're talking about it, was a hidden camera. It's like, oh, nice, crazy stuff. So you do have to be careful. There's always the thing of, you want to shine a light and see if you find any reflections. But the problem with that is that now we can have hidden cameras in just about anything, right? I mean, we're not just talking about a book or a teddy bear. There could be a hidden camera in a remote control that's sitting on a table or in a smoke detector or even in a power outlet. I mean, it's just, so they really, because the technology has advanced so much, is that we have hidden cameras in just about anything nowadays. So the whole idea behind the hidden camera detectors is that it's going to be listening in for any type of RF signals, any type of transmissions, and any type of maybe an audio bug. And now there are tons for sale on Amazon, but the question is, which is the best one, right? Which one really works? That's where you want to look at something like there's the 4-in-1 hidden camera detectors. And so it has camera lens finders and camera detectors to spot like hidden pinhole cameras. You'd also maybe will start working with a flashlight too, or magnetic field detection. So you can find any type of GPS trackers. And this is a real problem, not just in hotel rooms, but also if a lot of women and men for that matter, they leave relationships and now they're finding that there's air tags or tile trackers or worse all around them. And so over on the website is that we have links to the hidden camera detectors that we recommend. Great. And one's called the SDL hidden camera detector. But I'm going to put you on hold, Stephen. And Amber, who's screening the calls today, she's going to give you a direct link to that. And for everybody else, make sure that you sign up for our free Komando newsletters. If you haven't already gotten those, head over to getkim.com. And we're going to do a whole special on how to find hidden cameras. And that's where we're going to be talking about these hidden camera detectors. So it's going to be coming out over the next couple of weeks. So if you haven't already signed up for our newsletters, make sure that you do that now over at getkim.com. Or you can just search komando.com for our current recommendations. But again, we're going to go into a lot more detail in our free newsletter. So make sure you sign up now over at getkim.com. And Stephen, thank you for your call today. Let's see who's up next. Jerry in Sarasota, Florida.
Hey, how are you, Kim?
I'm good. What's going on?
Well, I was reading your newsletter, and as I'm reading that, in the mail that day, we also got 2 letters. Actually, my wife got a letter one day, and I got one the next day, under a letterhead that said it was from the Justice Department. Mm-hmm. And in that letter, it indicated that there was a data breach, and our personal information was out there for anybody to use and maybe abuse. And, of course, I was concerned about this and started to pursue to find out exactly what the situation was. But with all of the scams and so on that are going on, I really questioned the veracity of the letter. of either of the letters. Mm-hmm. They were almost identical. They gave some specific directions as to what
did they
we
say?
could do. And
what did they say that you had to do, or did they give you free credit monitoring, or what did it say?
Yes, ma'am. They actually gave me 3 steps. The first thing they said was they wanted me to enroll in an organization called Santique Incorporated Data Breach and Identity Protection Services. Mm-hmm. That I would get a free 12 months of enrollment for that. And then they also said that I could obtain a free credit report. They gave me some contact information. I could not log in to the Santique given what was there, and I ended up finding a phone number or coming up with a phone number online. I called that phone number and finally got through and spoke to a live person after several attempts. Mm-hmm. When I got to that live person, that person indicated to me that I should be able to log on. She said, use your laptop. And she said, what are you using to try and get on? Are you using your iPhone or are you using your laptop? And I said, well, I've got a Mac, and I tried to get on with both, and neither one of them. Oh, she said, they won't accept either one of those, which right away kind of put up a red flag to me that about the veracity of this Santique.
You always have to be careful. I mean, you always have to know that there is somebody who's going to try to steal something from you around every cyber corner, so to speak. What I would do is I would Google search just maybe some certain words, certain sentences in that letter, highlight the sentences, and then paste them into Google, see what pops up. And you may find that official letter from the Department of Justice, maybe as part of a press release, maybe as part of their website. But you're right to be cautious. You really are. Now, there have been several data breaches at the Department of Justice. Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy? Doesn't that make you happy? Okay.
You just made my day.
Yes. Ransomware attacks. And they said it wasn't really with them. It was with a third-party contractor, blah, 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 right? It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, but, you did the right thing. You didn't want to look for official websites, call the agency directly, see if there's any typos, grammatical errors. But now with ChatGPT and AI, they don't really have those anymore. But again, what my litmus test is always just to grab a couple of sentences that are fairly unique and that wouldn't be any place else except for within a bona fide statement by the Department of Justice or within some type of press release or some type of communications that they are putting forth from the official agency. Jerry, thank you so much for your call today. And you get a gold star for being super smart, yes, and being scam aware here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, let's switch gears. We're not getting any younger, sorry to say, but you can bring back your natural radiance with Native Path Collagen. It's scientifically backed to increase bone mineral density, support tissue recovery, can reduce those wrinkles, enhance hair thickness, and strengthen those weak or damaged nails. You get 45% off right now by going to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. I use a publicity photo for my passport, and I'm so relieved, after a 10-hour flight, I actually kind of almost look like that. So you might be wondering, why can't I smile in a passport photo? Well, here's the deal, is that may not be actually picked up by the facial recognition camera. So if you ever wondered, why I need to look mean in my passport photo, it's all because of the technology behind it. And by the way, you can now renew your passport online for the first time at travel.state.gov. Hey, you want to stay right where you are? We have more phone calls, tips, tricks, and secrets coming up here on the Kim Komando Show. So I got in a cab in New York City this past weekend, and I said, I want to go to Soho. I was in Midtown, and I got maybe a quarter of a block down, and the cab driver actually turned around, and he said, you, get out. And I'm like, excuse me? He's like, no Soho for me. No Soho for me. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you need to get out of my cab. And of course, I wrote down the number. I'm going to file a complaint. But then I had to order an Uber, and oh my gosh, it was so expensive, $143 plus a tip. Crazy. So coming up, I'm going to tell you how you can save some big money on an Uber. especially in New York City in the holiday season. And before we get to that and your phone calls, let's talk about your smart TV, because you may not think about this, but your TV is actually now what? A mini computer. And that means that it has some certain characteristics like your laptop might, or even your phone or your iPad. So here's how you can speed things up. Number one, clear the cache. Just like your phone or your computer, I don't know if you know this, but your television actually stores temporary data. And the more that data builds up, yeah, you're following me, the slower that the TV gets. So what you want to do is head into your TV settings, you find the cache and just clear it out. Next is you want to get rid of any background apps. You probably didn't install them, but they came with your memory. They just suck up memory. They slow everything down. So if there are apps on your TV that you're not using, just go ahead and remove them. And finally, you want to update your TV software. I know, it's like we would never even thought of saying that like 20 years ago. And if you've been just saying, I don't want to update my TV, I'll do it later, that could also be costing you some speed. And if all else fails, yes, just turn it off and turn it on again. A reboot does wonders for just about everything. Hey, let me tell you, aside from the Kim Komando Show, I host a wildly popular podcast called Kim Komando Today, and that's where I get to sit down with some really interesting folks. And recently, I sat down with Madeline. Now, she's famous for helping women find out if their partners are cheating, all through social media. She's really popular on TikTok. She gets about 1,000 messages a week from people just asking for her help. She's got just tons of followers all over. You can find her on TikTok at Madeline the Real. And she runs these loyalty checks, from like worried spouses wondering like, hey, is he really cheating on me? Now, she says 8 out of 10 guys totally flunk the test. Wow, isn't that sad? Here, take a listen.
He messaged me while his wife was sleeping. Then he sent me a picture of him with a beer. I knew I had his attention, so I said, wow, okay, you are definitely way hotter than in your profile pic. He said, well, you're damn sexy yourself. So I sent him a picture that was a little bit suggestive. Then he sent one back that was even more suggestive.
How did you come up with this idea?
What happened was years ago, I had helped some friends with some intense legal battles and custody battles. I've testified in court cases. And then my fiance was like, you know what? You've been doing all of these things for women. So why don't you put it out on TikTok in the form of a loyalty test and see what happens? I'm like, no one's going to care.
And so what happens? How do you do this?
So essentially what happens is when a woman reaches out to me, I try to get a feel for exactly what kind of red flag she's seeing, if, it's just purely intuition, if she is, if the guy has a history of being secretive, and that answer is almost always yes. And just based off of his personality, his profile, things like that, then I will approach them in the way that I think will work the best. Talk to them, see if they're willing to deny that they're in a relationship, or maybe they don't care. Some guys are like, I'm married, but they're still down to meet up. And then I send the screenshots to the girl, block the guy, have a very long block list.
I bet
And-
you do.
Yeah. And that's essentially it in a very small nutshell, because there's, of course, a lot of emotions that go into it. There's a lot of nuance. It's not always that straightforward. There's a lot of women whose lives I get invested in, who have become good friends, that it
wow,
hurts my heart for them.
So what are some signs that a guy's cheating?
Well, in the digital age of just our whole life is digital, which is wonderful because it obviously gives us so many different capabilities, and we're able to connect with people in a way we never have before. But then that also opens the door for a lot of secrecy. So I always say the number one thing to look for is secrecy with their phone. And I talk to a surprising amount of women who have been married for 10 years and aren't allowed to touch his phone.
No.
And that's
really
wild. Oh, it's so common. Yeah. I'm not talking about like, hey, you've been dating for 3 months, you should have full access. That's different. So, I say these things and there's rules to them. There's guidelines, meaning like, you can't have full access to someone's phone when you first start dating. That's not fair, but yeah, if you're married and you're not allowed to touch their phone,
There's
you don't even
something
know
wrong.
their passcode, there's something weird going on.
You know, I know a couple, they've been married for, I want to say like 20 years. And he won't allow her to put on Find My Friends. Which
is that a red flag?
Oh, yeah.
I think that, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to say anything to her, but I was like, if you don't, I mean, if you can't look at your phone and know exactly where he is at any given moment.
I've only been dating my girlfriend for a year and a half, and we both track each other's phones.
Yeah.
And that's not even a marriage.
Right. Exactly. You know, those who have nothing to hide nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Madeline, how much does it cost to have one of these loyalty tests?
So I have different prices based off of how much effort it is. Sometimes girls want me to build a relationship for like a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Or talk to them on the phone or FaceTime and, you know, all of that. So
your eyes. You're like, oh my God.
So if you just want me to reach out and see how it goes, it's $45.
Okay.
But then of course, you know, because we are pretty slammed with requests, then, you know, if you want an expedite fee or kind of like a VIP fee where you have like my number and things like that, because I can't obviously make myself available to everyone all the time, then that will fluctuate. So
that's not bad.
Have you ever run into somebody like you're like, oh, I know this guy?
Oh, yes.
Really?
I have. Well, I didn't run into him so much as I loyalty tested him a couple of years ago and ended up working on a project with his wife. She's local to California, and we, you know, do some business together. And I went to one of her opening events, and he was there, and he kept looking at me, really confused, and I just gaslit him, you know?
So have you ever had a woman say like, oh, you have him all wrong. He would never do that.
Yes, I have. It's really interesting, the psychology that goes behind that, because I've had women reach out and say, I know for a fact that my husband will pass. I know it. But here, will you just do it for fun? You know, and I'm like, well, okay, so you're going to spend your money on confirming something that you seem to know, and then they end up failing. And then it's like, big blow.
Well, you know, but if you're going to do that, you have to have some inkling. You have to have some sign, right? That
totally agree.
Have you ever done a loyalty test on someone who's famous? Like we would recognize his name.
NBA, MLB, UFC.
Yeah, athletes.
See, there's your idols right there, Andrew.
They're not my idols. I mean, I like betting on them, but otherwise, I know they're awful people. Some of them.
Well, yeah, they can be idols for different reasons. You don't have to envy their integrity or lack thereof.
Okay, so one last question.
Sure.
And you can just give us a ballpark. How much money are you making?
Well, it wasn't full time until more recently, but I don't know, a couple extra $1,000 a month is what it started out to, and now it's kind of
Boom.
We're gonna see where it blossoms.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I think you know what I love entrepreneurs.
I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, search for My Last Name Commando. And of course, we always do the video too. So if you're more of a visual person, head over to youtube.com/Kim Komando. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando. All right, let's switch gears. As if the holidays weren't chaotic enough, did you know that there's also a heightened risk of data theft and fraud? Okay, hackers know that everybody's just in a hurry, so it's easier than ever to hijack your connection and steal your personal information. I'm talking about your credit card numbers, your banking passwords, especially on an unsecured public Wi-Fi network. That's why I use ExpressVPN. It's easy to use. It encrypts and reroutes all of your online traffic through secure servers, making it virtually impossible to hack into your connection. And right now, you can use my special link to get 3 extra months of ExpressVPN for free. Go to expressvpn.com/Kim to take advantage of this special deal. expressvpn.com/Kim. All right, we're all crazy with online shopping, and the holidays are just full of deals. But I don't want you to fall for these like countdown clocks or limited time offers. They're just designed to pressure you into overspending. They're called dark patterns, by the way. That's why you should always use browser extensions. I love Honey, or you can also use Capital One Shopping. They scan websites for instant promo codes and coupons. You can set price alerts, and even on Amazon, it tells you whether or not you're getting a deal. Now, next on my tip list is you leave things in your shopping cart and you leave the site. because odds are you're going to get an email with an exclusive promo code. And another trick, just sign up for a retailer's email list. I know it's going to just fill up your inbox, but after the holidays, you can always unsubscribe. But inside those emails, you're probably going to get some money-saving coupons too. All right, still to come, some more of your phone calls, of course, and then how you can save big money on an Uber. Oh, so expensive, here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, are you struggling with debt from credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills? Let me tell you, PDS Debt can help you get out of debt. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. And let me tell you, when I couldn't pay my bills when I was starting this company, I wish that PDS was around. You can trust them. I totally checked them out. You can get a free debt analysis right now. It takes just 30 seconds by going to pdsdebt.com/Kim. That's pdsdebt.com/Kim. All right, let's see. Sarah in Portland, Oregon.
Hi, how are you today, Kim?
Good. What's going on?
Well, I have a question about AirTags and tracking.
Okay.
And I don't mean things like tracking things. I mean tracking people. I suspect I have an AirTag on my keys, which was given to me by a family member, and I asked for it, and it was very helpful in finding my keys. But months down the road, I was told, "Oh, I knew where you were because I was tracking you."
Oh, that's frightening, isn't it?
A little bit. So, but it was fine. It was a family member, and it was no big deal. And it was kind of nice to know that somebody could find me if I were in an accident or whatever. But a little bit further down the road, now we have a disjoint in the relationship. Okay. And so I suddenly started hearing the AirTag go off when I'm driving and there's no one else around, and I don't have Apple products, so it's not me. And then I get little hints along the way that, oh, I knew where you were because of so-and-so. So I highly suspect I am being tracked with the AirTag on my keys, which is no longer on my keys. But I want to know how those work and if I was just being paranoid or if the AirTag goes off for other reasons, how I would know.
All really good questions, right? Especially if you don't want to be tracked anymore by this person. So, what's going on? So now, when you get in the car, are you hearing like a weird chime? Is that it?
Yeah, it's the little chime, and that seems to me like the chime that went off when I was looking for my keys, and we found them.
Okay, so what it is so in your car somebody has placed an AirTag, okay, and so that person's AirTag is attached to their device, and so the AirTag is letting you know that you are being tracked. Now, there have been some recent changes to this. If you haven't already updated your Android-based phone to the latest version, make sure that you do that. Of course, with an Apple AirTag, is that if you have an Apple phone, it will go ahead and say, this item has been detected with you. And so with Android, Google-based products, now Google says, okay, we're going to start alerting. Now, what you can do is Apple actually has an app in the Google Play Store called Tracker Detect, and it's made by Apple. So when you start looking for it, make sure that it says the developer is Apple. And so it says Tracker Detect, and then it will go ahead and try to find an AirTag and then let you know on an Android-based device that it's there. Now, a lot of people are giving it like really crappy reviews, and it's a crappy product, okay? Because unlike with an iPhone, you are automatically notified when an AirTag is there. With an Android-based phone, without this recent update, is that you'd have to use this app called Tracker Detect, and then it would take 10 minutes to find it. And you're like, okay, wow, this is a really long time. But if in fact you do hear that chime, you may not even need the app to tell you that it's there. It probably is there, especially if somebody's saying, hey, why were you at the Dollar General store last night when you said you were going to Costco or whatever it may be. And so now it's a matter of trying to find it in the car. And the only way to really do that is to keep listening for that sound.
Will an AirTag go off for any other reason? Because the AirTag is actually on my keys. I know where it is, but I did not know why it's going off, and I did not suspect I was being tracked until I started hearing it go off. Why is it going off?
Well, the AirTags are designed to make a sound when it's separated from the owner's device.
Okay.
So it's going to keep making those sounds. I misunderstood. I didn't realize that it was still on your keys. I thought maybe there was another one that you found in the car. So the AirTag is designed. So basically, if you don't want to be tracked, you have to take the AirTag off. Now, if you are looking for a tracker that will go ahead and tell you where your keys are based on an Android, those are really wonderful things. Companies like Pebbletree, Motorola, Eufy, they make them, and you can find them on Amazon.
Yeah, and I've got one of those now. The AirTag is now sitting in my office, indicating I'm at work all the time.
Which, you know what, you are such a hard worker, Sarah, all the time. All the time you're working. I mean, but you bring up an interesting point, and I'm really glad that you took the time to call, because a lot of people, they're wondering like, well, how does this person know where I am all the time, and how do these work? It's pretty basic technology. But as I mentioned, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, there's been some major changes. So again, if you haven't automatically updated your iOS or Android-based device to the latest operating system, make sure that you do that now, because Apple and Google finally got together to solve this problem. Yes, finally. All right. Are you ready for a bad dad joke? I know it. I know you are. Okay, speaking of tags, you're going to want to use this one, so listen up. Speaking of tags, I changed the tags on my sister's herb jars. She hasn't noticed yet, but the time is coming. Oh, I know. That was bad. That was bad, even for me. I know. I heard you groan all the way from here. All right, stay right where you are, because coming right back, how you can save big money on an Uber here on the Kim Komando Show. Okay, during the holidays, everything's crazy in New York City, especially when you're midtown and they have Fifth Avenue closed off, which is fabulous because you're walking around, you're seeing the tree and Saks Fifth Avenue and going to St. Patrick's and all that great stuff. But if you're trying to get an Uber and with all the traffic, it's just nuts. Like I mentioned, I paid $43 plus a tip just to go from Midtown to Soho. And to put that into perspective, in case you're not familiar with New York, that's probably about a 20-minute ride. That's it. Okay, so how do you save money? Here are some ways. You can try Ride.Guru. Once again, that's Ride.Guru. You just plug in your starting point, your destination, and it shows you all the different options from Uber, Lyft, and local services that could be cheaper. Once again, that's Ride.Guru. Another trick is if it's a high demand time, you just wait a few minutes before booking, and then you might be able to get a lower price. Hey, just a reminder, enter to win that $500 Amazon gift card. Go now to winfromkim.com.